Welcome to Imperial Voxcast, your light in the darkness of the warp. We're going to do a D&D 5e live play here. We kind of had a little last-minute drop out for this game, but since it's been so long, I really wanted to try to move this story along. Returning, we have Travis playing Hrothgar.
Aye.
And Kyle playing Lucas.
Hello.
So we're going to start off, though, with Hrothgar. So at the end of the first session, the party had made their way into a structure underground that had been taken over by a group of goblins. They ended up clearing out the beginning of this kind of dungeon area. And upon their first kind of point of deciding where to go, Hrothgar is sent back to give word so they can report back to their superiors in the Ivory Order and basically leave word with them in case anything happens while they're out. And so he heads back to town while the rest decide to push on a little further. So we're going to start with Hrothgar returning. He wasn't gone that long, maybe an hour or so. Just enough time to go into the woods. He found, I believe it was Sam, the forester, and left word with Sam that they have found the structure, that they began clearing out the goblins, and that they were going to push on further. Then his stubby little dwarven legs hurried back in. So Hrothgar, you get back down, you descend into this dark, dank structure, and you find the room that you last saw your friends with. You're in you're in this room, which are a bunch of bunks in there, which is as far as you saw. To your right, you kind of last heard the group kind of notice that there was something down there. There was a smell of like decay, rotten something in that room. And to the left was a hallway that hadn't been really explored much. What would you like to do?
Well, I have no need to assault my nostrils any more than I have to. So to the left it is.
All right. So you head down to the left, and there is a path that leads forward, and you can kind of see it leads into a room in front of you. And there is not very far into this pathway, there's a right-hand turn that heads down the hall. And as you get to this point, you kind of look down, and your dark vision allows you to see that it comes to like a T intersection, and there's a right and a left direction. And ahead of you is this little room that you can kind of see. It looks pretty messy inside. And what would you like to do?
Do I see any movement in the room from where I am?
You do not. With your dark vision, you can kind of see that there's rubble. There's like scattered objects of whatever sort throughout this room.
Yeah, I'll walk into the room to kind of inspect it, and as I walk in, I'm just gonna trace a symbol in the air real quick, casting Blade Ward upon myself in case I'm immediately assaulted as I enter. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and kind of kick around with my boot and try to inspect what's in the room.
Okay, you come across a 20 by 20 room, and like I said, you could see some scattered things along the floor, just like old books that just look like they've been rotten and decayed because they've been down here and not taken care of very well. Broken chairs, broken boxes, but nothing, no exits that you can see, and nothing really all that calls to you. It looks like someone's kind of rummaged through this room, and you probably noticed that it was then rummaged through again, probably by your party members.
Okay. All right. Satisfied with that, I'll double back and go to that T intersection.
Okay. So as you make it down to this T intersection, to your right there is a long hallway. It goes probably like 40 feet down that way. To your left, the hallway goes about 20 feet, and both hallways are going to angle that you can see because of your decent night vision or dark vision. You can see that the walls, like the turns, go both in the same direction.
Okay. I'll take the right.
Okay. So you make it down. You go to the very end of the right corridor, and you come up to the wall area, and you turn to follow along, and you see a barricaded door before you. It's about 20 feet ahead of you, but that's about the only thing in this hallway.
So the door, is there like a bar across it on this side, or are there things piled up?
So it's been like wood has been nailed on this side.
Okay.
And that's about all you can see at this point. But like it's it looks like it was secured. There's like wood nailed across, and there's like some wooden spikes that are.
I'll put my ear to the door to see if I hear anything on the other side.
Okay. You do not hear anything on the other side of the door.
All right. Looking at it, looks like it probably takes some work. Looking at like what's been done, does it look like it's settled in and it's been here for a while, or has this been done pretty recently?
It looks like the work that was done, and since you are like a craftsman, you would probably have a good idea that this has been done for quite a while.
Okay.
That, at least more than the couple days or the couple hours since your party has been around.
All right. Well, not wanting to waste too much time, I'll take note of this barricade, and I'm going to check the other corridor to see if there's an easier access ahead.
Okay. You start heading down this corridor, and as you're kind of making it back to that T intersection, you start hearing rumbling and almost like an explosive sound somewhere back towards the opening of the cave. And you can kind of hear boom, 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 like rocks falling, large, heavy rocks falling, and it sounds like it's starting to get closer to you.
All right. I think at this point, I'm going to start running forward down the left side corridor now.
Okay.
And going to as speedy as a dwarf can go.
Yeah. So your chubby little legs start moving. You come into this room, and there's a table before you, and then on the other side of the table, there's a door that will lead straight up to the north, and to the right there is another hallway, and the door there is open. Is there anything you'd like to use to try to help you determine the better direction?
Let's see here.
And I'm going to be pretty open as to like just as long as you got an idea as to.
So I am running. Can I make a perception check? Just I think that's probably what I'll most likely be using in this situation.
Sounds good. So as you're running down and you come into this room and you see there's two options, and you still hear this rumbling getting closer. Go ahead and roll your perception check.
All right, 16.
All right. So with 16, you kind of notice really quickly that it looks like the footprints that are on the floor and everything, that it looks like more of the action is going to the right door there that stands open right now. And that kind of, you would think in this quick snap of I have to make a decision, that would be a better choice.
All right. I will trust my gut and go that way.
All right. So you start heading down this hallway, and the noise is getting louder. It's getting closer. There is a hallway, and as you're making it down this hallway, you actually spot the body of a dead humanoid figure in the hallway. And there's a door that stands open that leads into a room just past this dead humanoid figure. And I don't know if you want
I'll head that way. Not wanting to really slow down, but I will do a quick look. Is there anything recognizable on this figure, like familiar to me, iconography or a garb?
Yeah, I mean, he's got nicer armor than the goblins before, but nothing that I think you would necessarily notice.
Oh, when I get up close, do I recognize it as a goblinoid, a goblin?
It is not. Yeah, it's goblinoid. If you want to give me some sort of check that would.
Would that be nature, possibly?
Sure. I can take nature or maybe history or whatever you think would apply that Hrothgar might have some knowledge that would help him determine
Let's see here. Let's do a history check. Not particularly great. Only a 12 on my history check.
Okay. I mean, you know a little bit about them. You know that they are kind of the commander type of the goblins, and I believe they're hobgoblins.
Oh, hobgoblin. Okay.
Yeah. So you would know that, like you wouldn't necessarily know specifically
recognizing at least
this one came from.
That it is a hobgoblin of some sort.
Yeah. So you know that much as you kind of just take a quick glance as you're running past into this room, and as you're kind of making it through, the rumbling's getting louder and the dust is starting to head in front of it. So there's particles of dirt and dust that are starting to come up behind you.
All right.
You make it in.
Dart through the door.
Yeah, so you dart through the door. Again, there's another dead hobgoblin in this room where it looks like your friends probably finished this one off. There's the barricaded door to the right, and you can see that on that side it is bolted. It is nailed shut. It is like things pushed up against it. Like there wouldn't have been an easy way to get through that way. But you do see a doorway ahead of you. It's the only exit of this room. And that's what you can see.
All right. I'm going to head for the door, dashing again, not wanting to try to deal with whatever calamity is behind me.
Okay. So you dashing towards this room, and you're hearing the rocks falling right behind you. Boom, 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 boom. And you know that it's right behind you. Give me some sort of check, either I'd say athletics or dexterity, acrobatics or something, as you know that you can feel these rocks coming in. You're trying to get into this room or get into a safe place.
It's not good. It's a 9.
Okay. So you run and a rock like hits you across the shoulder and you stagger forward and it slows you down. You get into this room and there is another dead creature, and there's a dead warg in there, and there is a like pillar, and there is a opening to this doorway just ahead of you. Let's go ahead and do one more check of some sort to see if you can
take any damage from before.
We're gonna do this more narrative since there's only 2 of you. I don't want to screw you by having you
kill me before we get there. All right.
Yeah, so it just mainly slowed you down.
All right, I'll attempt another athletics check as I attempt to go through, and it's the exact same number on the die once again.
Okay.
9.
Okay, so you stagger having been hit, and the dirt and everything's getting around you. It like surrounds you and it like kind of fills up this area. And so as you get into this area here, a large slab falls down and you dive forward, but instead of like being able to dive into the opening, you know you're not going to make it straight there. So you kind of dive over, and there's this like obsidian pillar in this room kind of off to the side of the wall, and you dive over there and kind of like hunch up against it. Okay. And rock kind of falls around you and the dust fills this area. You're kind of overwhelmed for a moment with the dust and the debris that's kind of filling this area. But you got lucky. So this rock fell and a large bit of it fell right above you and kind of blocked much of it, like filling in all of this area.
Mm-hmm.
And as the dust finally settles, it takes quite a while, but in the dust in your little area finally settles, you can see that there is a crack, like there's the rubble's filled in, it's kind of blocked the door, but you can kind of tell that you could probably make your way into that little alcove if you worked really hard at it. It might take you some time, but you would work on it and get in there.
All right. Yeah, probably have to secure my shield to my back and the best I can in the area I have, and start shimmying and carefully working my way towards that opening.
All right. So, for the interest of not making this take too long, I mean, it takes you a while. It probably takes you, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes of just kind of like moving debris, moving rubble, just pushing it out of the way. But finally, you can crawl through into a stairway that will lead down deeper in. And it's a dark, long stairway, but you're able to get in there and you're able to make your way in. And then once you're into the stairway, you're able to stand up again. It looks like the debris basically was whatever happened. It filled in the front half of this facility. And now there's a stairway that leads down. Anything you would like to do, or are you?
No, but I'm not in need of a light source, so I'm just going to push on.
Okay, so there's a group of stone steps that lead down, and you get to the very bottom of the stone steps, and there's a little landing, and there's a wood bridge that goes over, and then below you it's just dark. It's a chasm if you look over the edge, below the bridge, but there is a pillar that stands in this area, and it's actually glowing right now, I believe, because I believe they cast light, and I don't think anyone ever did anything to change that. But on there are several box-like things that look like they kind of exploded fairly recently. Since you do know stonework, you do know crafts of such, so you would notice that these things recently were disturbed in some form. And then there's another bridge beyond that leads further. I'm assuming you'd like to cross the bridge on this.
Yeah, I'm just going to push forward, not waste too much time.
Perfect.
With stuff that's already been taken care of.
Yeah. So you get onto this platform, and there are 4 things that you figure out that they were stone sarcophagi, and in them were Durgar. Like, you can kind of tell, and you can tell by the runes, because you guys use the same language, that these were Durgar, and they were if you examine the bits that you can find around there, you'd probably be able to tell that these were those that were they were used to build this structure. And then in order to maintain the secrets of this location, they were interred here. Would you like to give me either an investigation or maybe a perception check to see if you notice anything further?
Yeah. I'll investigate this site here. Critical failure.
Awesome. Yeah, so you are still kind of winded, a little panting from this issue that you've had, just getting in here, this ordeal,
my
this
unexplainable hatred of the Drugar probably just clouds my ability to investigate this properly.
Yeah, so this ingrained thing, and you're just upset, and you really just want to find your friends. So if you would like, you may move on and go across
stone blasted dark dwarfs. Yeah, he's just going to move on. There's nothing of interest amongst these.
Nothing here that could help you at all.
Absolutely not.
So you can move on, and you go across this other bridge, and you come into a room, and this room has these it's actually got a glow, which you notice at first, like even before you get into this room, and into the wall. There's a doorway carved in. There's no actual door. It's just an opening that's been carved into the wood. You get in there, and there are pillars, 5 on either side of this room, that are glowing like a light blue color.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a doorway ahead of you.
Looking at the pillars, can I easily determine the nature of that glow? Does it look I mean, does it look like a light cantrip to me, or is this something more runic or built in?
Would you like to use something like Arcana?
Yeah. I'll make an Arcana check. That'd be 15.
All right. You would know that this is indeed a something more than a light cantrip. In fact, it is some sort of enchantment upon these. Your knowledge of arcane ways, you would probably ascertain that this is not a harmful effect, although you can't right off the bat know what exactly
specific nature, but
yeah.
Probably wouldn't be warning everyone if it was meant to be a trap. All right, I think I'm gonna just push on through to the open door, not wanting to waste too much time with these frivolities built by deep dwarfs.
All right. So you can push in to this room. And you come into a room, and there are rocks that are falling from this room, from the roof of this room. There is a chasm below, and the rocks are falling from like an area up above. And there are 2 pathways that lead around this chasm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see the other end of this chasm, 3 figures that are kind of like standing there looking perplexed on the other side of these rock.
Okay. So are the rocks like falling kind of over these pathways? And
yes. So it would be difficult, like to traverse this. You probably would have some rocks coming at you.
Okay.
However, there's not really like they're not huge. They might hurt a little bit, but they're not gonna probably impede you much.
Do one of the paths seem less rocky, so to speak, after a cursory glance of watching it for a few beats?
Watch it for a little bit, and they seem pretty much the same. It's just a matter of getting through this little like area.
All right. Not one to dilly-dally. I'm just going to take the path on the right, and I'll secure my shield once again on my left arm, and hopefully use it to deflect and counterbalance myself as I make my way across the path.
Okay. Why don't you give me a either athletics or dexterity? Probably athletics for you, and we'll see how well you're able to deflect these stones.
Much better this time. 17.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to use your shield to just kind of like bat these. The ones that are coming at you, you spot, and you're able to knock them out of the way to traverse this little area without taking any damage. Why don't you give me a one more perception check as you pass this area, or investigation, whichever one you prefer.
No, I'm paying too much attention to the rocks. 4 on my perception.
All right, cool. So you make it through, and you come up, and there you see your compatriots Lucas, Zero, and Feradin, and they're standing there, and they're looking out, and they're in this. They probably notice you coming up, so I'd assume they turn to greet you. But you can spot that there's a room beyond them, and it's domed at the top, and there's about 30 feet in. There's 30 feet in. There's a rope that hangs down, straight down in the middle of it, and kind of kitty corner across this this large chasm. So the rope's probably about the midway there, but kitty corner across, you notice that there's another doorway, but there seems to be no easy way to traverse through this.
Okay, so we got open pit, domed ceiling, 30 feet out the rope, and it's hanging down 30 feet, right?
Yep. And so, Feradin probably turns and notices you and says, "Oh, wow. Hrothgar, I wasn't expecting you to come through. Glad you made it through safe."
Message sent. Don't think we're going back the way we came. Seems the whole level above has collapsed down on us. Don't know if it's anything I did. I didn't notice anything weird. I just merely, made my way back down here. Saw a couple of hobgoblin corpses.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just a trap that was laid for us so that there was no escaping once getting in.
Place was built by Hrothgar. Wouldn't put something that idiotic past him.
Is that what those sarcophagi things were?
Aye.
Well, now we're in a situation where there's no forward path. There's a rope, there's a door, there's no invisible bridge. I've already deduced that. I got another rock in case we need that for a counterbalance. But this is not my shtick. I'm used to math and stuff.
Well, about how far from the edge is it to the rope? Is it like 30 feet?
Yeah, from you to this rope, looks like it's 30 feet to get there. The rope hangs down about 30 feet, I believe, is what I said before. Hangs down, about 30 feet. And then the other door would be about another 30 feet beyond that. So it's 60 feet from you to get to this other door. And Lucas, Zero would say, "Oh, I tried to shoot the rope with my arrow, but as I pulled back, it fell right out. It wasn't strong enough."
Yeah, let's see here. Well,
I suggested that I have magic that can allow me to grab it and pull it towards us, but I don't think the rope is going to be quite long enough to reach us here.
Well, looking at the domed ceiling. So if the rope's hanging down, 30 feet, we should be able to get it back to us. Like, I mean, it's not gonna. It'll be tight, but we need to basically bring it up to the edge.
Yep.
I could try grabbing the very edge and pulling it towards us.
No, I don't think you're going to be able to reach out that far.
My lash of lightning allows me to reach out pretty far.
Well, if we get the rope over to our sides, then we have more options. I got 50 feet of rope myself. We could lash onto it, and then it'll be slow going.
I have 50 feet myself, so
we could one by one sort of try to swing across. I
don't think that's going to work very well, because how are we going to keep the rope moving back and forth unless I stay over here and the last man?
Yeah.
What if... All right, I have 50 feet of rope and you have 50 feet of rope. We have nothing to tie it off on either side, though. That's the problem. I do have a bailing pin. I have one. if we had another one, we could try to pin two sides. Use the rope to traverse a tied rope together.
I got 10 pittons in my sack, in my bag.
All right. Well, I have 50 feet rope. You have 50 feet rope. We can tie those together. Try and make sure that we have a good secure knot.
Listen, I say we forego trying to figure out this maniacal Drugar trap here, and we just start setting up our own rope bridge across the side here.
I think that's what my idea was.
Hammer and a pinton, and we go. If all else fails, I cast Featherfall, and we at least don't die at the bottom of the pit.
I guess that works. Do you want to still tie each other's ropes together so that way we have a good tightrope? I don't know if 50 feet will get all the way across.
Yeah, it's about like 60 feet straight from you to the opening. So if you're going to traverse the side, the diameter or whatever of it, it'd probably be a little bit longer. I'm not going to do the math. Let's say 70 feet.
Yeah.
But you have two 50-foot ropes. I'd assume Zero has one, and he would offer, if you think we can make this happen, I have some pittons too and some rope. But it is very smooth. I don't know how to get the handholds started.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it was a great idea. You have any thoughts there, Feradin?
Feradin would sit there, and he looks like he's been kind of contemplating, and he would say that, the only thing that I can think of, the only thing, I mean, there must be some way to get it across this. They wouldn't just create it. Maybe the pillars or something in the other room, or maybe something with a sarcophagi. I don't know. Like, I don't see a way forward easily without one of us probably falling to our deaths. So I'd almost prefer to go maybe backtrack and see if we can find something.
Right. Well, Feradin, you've been relatively injured, so I think that you should stay here, as this seems to be a safe spot. Hrothgar, do you want to go back and try to study those pillars a bit more? I was already interested in them anyways.
I barely even looked at them yet. Let's go take a look.
All right.
Zero would look. I'll stay here with Feradin and make sure he is okay. Good luck. Hopefully you find something.
Shout out if anything happens. I know that the rocks are loud, but still.
Oh yes, we will. And they both kind of like hunker down, and Feradin's like clutching his side where there's, he's like bleeding from his side where he took a wound that he's been trying to like kind of hide, but you can tell that he's starting to swagger a little bit more. His blood is starting to be lost from this wound. So you guys would like to make it back through this room.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and either dexterity or athletics to try to get through again without any damage.
It's the same for me.
Ooh, 20 for Hrothgar.
Okay.
12.
All right. Well, I'll give, since Hrothgar has a shield and he is so adept at figuring out how these rocks are falling, we'll say that he is able to kind of clear the path, and you're staying really close to him, and he's able to like knock him out of the way. So you'll both be able to make it through this room and into this chamber with the glowing pillars without taking any damage.
All right. The glow, different colors or same color?
They're all blue. They all look identical. And from what cursory looking of your cursory check of these, they all seem to be identically enchanted.
All right. So Hrothgar's going to go up to the nearest one, determining that from his previous inspection, there's probably nothing nefarious about it, he's going to place his hand on the pillar and kind of just see what happens.
All right, Hrothgar, you start to float a few feet off the ground as you touch this pillar.
All right. Does the effect persist after I untouch it?
Yes, you are still floating. You're probably, a couple feet off the floor, and then the roof still, I forget how high it was, we'll say another 10 or 15 feet above you.
Okay. Do I have the ability to... I've probably been under the effects of a levitation spell before. Like, does this feel like flight or levitation? Like, am I able to will myself forward, or am I just stationary?
You are pretty much just stationary next to this pillar. There's no, You kind of think, because you know magic well enough. You kind of think, forward, and you're just still there, and you try to think up, and you're still there. Down,
okay.
You're still there.
Well, it seems to imbue the whoever touches it with your standard levitation spell. I suppose that's what's supposed to help you across the chasm there. Doesn't solve all our problems because it's kind of a pain in the butt to maneuver yourself in this state. As Hrothgar will kind of like push off of the pillar to kind of like aim towards the back wall where we came from is.
So as you push off of it, you gain a few more feet, and you're closer to the roof at this point.
Ah, okay. And am I gaining any more altitude? And what was I able to get much forward momentum from that?
So now you were able to push yourself off, and you got closer to the wall, and you got closer to the roof, so you gain more altitude. And now you're probably only a few feet from the roof, but now you were kind of, unfortunately, just hanging in midair about 10 feet off the ground without anything to touch at this point. Like, you got closer to the wall, but you pushed yourself off the pillar, so now you got pushed away from the pillar, but not quite to the point where you can touch the wall.
Well, this seems inconvenient because there's rocks falling as well. If you're forced to levitate, wouldn't the rocks just drag you down?
Hmm.
I'm going to look at the ground to see if there's like handholds, like you're supposed to try to drag yourself across first or something.
It doesn't. The ground doesn't look like it's got any handholds. If either of you would like to make a perception check, we'll see if there's more hints.
I'll go ahead and do a perception. 17 plus 4, 21.
All right. So you're looking around and you're looking at the ground and you see nothing. Then you kind of like look up, and there's all sorts of things. Like the roof is old and it's old rock, and it's kind of moved around over the time. But you notice, your keen eyes are able to see that there are areas that clearly look like feet, like crushed into the rock in places, like almost like a trail that leads over here and into the next room across the roof. Like somebody or something many a times have walked across the roof of this structure.
Okay.
So that looks strange to you?
It looks like people have been walking on the ceiling. Am I able to like will myself higher anymore?
No. At this point, like you try the same series of motions. Like, can I go up? No. Can I go down? No. You try all these things, and then So you find yourself just hovering now, inconveniently too far away to touch the sides.
Hey, these stone-blasted Druga can't even make a proper levitation spell. I'm going to try to fish some rope out of my pack to drop it down to have my companion kind of push me back over towards or pull me back towards the pillar.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. You're able to drop it, and I'm assuming that Lucas is willing to kind of pull you like a balloon.
If you be so kind, will Lucas, give me a little nudge back towards there.
I think I can manage that as I hold the rope and slowly drag him.
All right, so I'm going to try essentially to climb up this pillar, hand over hand, hopefully, and see if that works.
Okay. So as you touch it again, he finally pulls you over. You touch it to like grab a hold, and you levitate the rest of the way to the point where you are kind of like you're touching the ceiling, and you kind of can figure out that now you probably could just invert yourself and walk safely.
All right, and invert myself, and I can kind of use these footholds to kind of push myself across.
Yeah.
Well, there's no guarantee that this isn't going to cut out at any moment and leave us for dead, but that's better than spending half the day trying to hammer pittance into that blasted wall. I say you give it a chance. Try, Lucas, and follow me out.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and touch one of the pillars, and I'm going to see if pushing to each pillar slowly makes you so you can climb faster and faster up.
So you kind of figure out, like, you touch one, you push off to another one, and you touch it, you push off, touch the third one, and as you touch it the third time, you find yourself basically like floating up to the roof and finding yourself to the top.
All right.
You kind of gather that 3 times is sort of the charm to get yourself all the way up to the roof.
Well, if this is the way that we're supposed to do this, we should bring Zero and Feradin back here, unless we're levitating so powerfully that we can keep them.
Well, they'd hurt. Let's make sure we could even make it across, and if we can, then we'll send them back.
Right. That does sound like a better plan.
Hrothgar's just going to venture off. He kind of mumbles to himself. These damn Drugash probably spent too much time in a chocolate factory coming up with this blasted way to get across. And are the falling rocks above us now?
So they are falling past you still. Like you're watching. It almost looks like they're falling upward. Like
that I was saying to my perception now that they're
falling up past you, but because of the opening, I'm going to say that there is a pathway that you're kind of able to walk around, and because of the angles are coming in, probably like at different angles, so that they would hit the walkway below, but then not such that they're going to hit you since you're walking on the roof.
Gotcha. It was designed to avoid this sort of thing.
Exactly.
Once we get to the the domed archway, what from this new angle do I see or notice anything different, or does it look like I'm just gonna try to walk along and get down?
Yeah, I mean, you don't notice much different. It just seems like you can walk across. And
okay.
It's not like a super steep dome. It's smooth, but there's enough of an area that you can kind of walk through.
Okay. All right. Well, Hrothgar's going to attempt to make it all the way to the door.
Okay, Kyle, our sound's coming through your speakers or something, and we're getting a loop. So if you don't mind maybe muting in between. There we go. Sweet. I'm not hearing myself. All right, yeah. So you make it across and you get through the door, and so you enter. And as you walk through the door, you start slowly floating down to the ground, and you're able to like kind of shove off, and push yourself so that you're not going to land on your head, and you're able to kind of, it's almost like a feather fall. So you kind of,
Gotcha.
this effect. So you're able to, as you start losing altitude, kind of shift your momentum to get yourself upright. And so you land on your feet on the other side.
All right. Hrothgar will give him, direct, instructions of what they need to do. He'll wait on this side. Actually, no, he'll say, you guys catch up. Me and Lucas, you two do that. Catch up. Me and Lucas will push on ahead.
Yeah, they'll signal, okay, go ahead, and Zero. All right, Feradin is pretty hurt, so we will take our time, but be careful. If you need us, we will come.
Well, shout for you.
So as you turn and you look into this hallway, it's a long hallway. It goes probably like 50, 60 feet down. To your right, like the first area, there's, let's see, 2 hallways that lead off before the end. And even at the end, all of them you can see head to the right from where you're standing. The first one's only like 15 feet ahead of you. And then there's another one like 10 feet past that. And then the end of the hallway is like another 30 or whatever it is, 40 feet.
All right. Well, I'd hate to walk down the end here and have something attack us from the rear. So let's be systematic about this, and we'll turn down the as long as Lucas is okay with that, we'll turn down the first hallway.
Cool. Sure.
You enter the hallway and it goes down, and it kind of makes a little turn, and it goes down. And you're being careful. You're kind of like looking around. You're wary, especially because this is a Durgar built facility. So you are, worried about anything that could come up. But you come into a small room, about 15 by 15, and in the middle of it, there is a old, sturdy wooden chest with like iron bands around it, and it's just sitting there in the middle of the room.
Because I'm unfortunately human, I need light. I have cast light onto a stone that's embedded into my glove that I remove a cap for to act as a light, as I can just do this and put the cap back on.
All right.
To shield from light.
Secret decoder ring going off. All right. All right. So you step in, eliminating it.
I'll approach the chest. Okay. Give it a cursory inspection. Perhaps investigate it for any overt mechanical traps that may be easy enough for me to see.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll for that? See how well you inspect this.
Not terrible. 14.
You look at it, and your knowledge of crafting, your knowledge of forging things, you're pretty sure that there is no issue with this. And in fact, it doesn't even seem like it's locked. It's just there's a chest here.
Okay. I'll kick it open with my boot.
Okay. You kick it open, and then you see gold. There are gold pieces kind of strewn around in this chest.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say no to a handful of gold coins to put in my pocket. Yeah, we'll divide it with the others next we see him. But Hrothgar is going to start kind of scooping it up into. He pulls out a little pouch out of his out of the side of his pack, and he starts gathering up the gold.
Okay, so you're able to gather the gold now. Your pouch may not hold it all as you.
Okay, so there's a lot in there. Okay,
there's a decent amount, and it all seems to be gold. Roughly, you would guess somewhere around 300 gold pieces strewn in this chest.
Oh, okay. So, I'll take a pouch full and tell Lucas, you better dig in here. There's more than I could carry.
I will hand him my pack as I'm using my light to keep an eye out to make sure nothing's trying to sneak up behind us.
Cool. Hrothgar gladly takes the other receptacle and fills it up as well.
I got a 16 on my perception, just in general.
Sounds good. Maybe just so I know, what's a passive perception skills for both of you?
12 for Hrothgar.
Same. Oh no, 14 for me. Sorry.
Okay. Just in case I need to use it, I'd rather have it written down now. All right. So Hrothgar, you're able to gather up the gold. You didn't count it all, but again, somewhere around 300 gold pieces, you figure. That's all.
We'll let Feradin and Zero collect what's left over.
Yeah, I figure you guys gather it, whatever.
Gotcha.
You guys,
I'll fill up all the empty cracks in my pack.
Yeah. So,
can't just leave it laying around.
No, of course not.
I mean, I actually have an explorer's pack. I have a whole backpack.
Yeah. I mean, you guys figure it out. It's not that hard to gather up. It's just I figure that a normal gold pouch probably doesn't hold 300.
No. Yeah, I misunderstood the first description.
Yeah.
I thought they were
and you don't know how deep it is.
That's true. You
covered in gold. Yeah. So you get through. You get it all, and that appears to be all that this room has.
Yeah, there was no other entrance or exit that we could easily see.
No, it is solid wall on all sides. It was really like you walk down a hallway, you make a couple quick turns, and there's a chest sitting there full of gold.
All right, Hrothgar's content and ready to head back. Let's move on if that's okay with you, Lucas.
I'm fine with trying to find a way out. I'm not a huge fan of dark places.
Yeah, you don't bother me much, but I can understand your kind, Can't see well. All right, we'll move on and
I'm used to boats.
Hrothgar's nature would be to kind of check out every turn in course. So we'd head up to the next.
And Lucas is acting as
turn. Cool. So you go back out to the main hallway, and then there's another hallway that leads in the same direction as the one you just took. That comes up in like 10 feet from you if you're heading back down away from this domed roof.
All right, Hrothgar, take the lead, and we'll head on down.
All right, awesome. 1 second, I wanted to see. All right, cool. So you're heading into this hallway, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk down another hallway, and there are 2 chests sitting there in this room. Again, it's about the same. It's about the same size room. So there's a chest kind of near to the wall on each side, and then a solid wall beyond that.
Well, Hrothgar's definitely feeling a little bit more suspicious of these ones, and gonna want to investigate them thoroughly as well. Would you like me to roll for each, or just a?
Whichever you feel more comfortable with.
All right, I'm just going to do one straight up roll.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's an 18.
Okay. So you look at them and you look close, and one chest you get a good feeling about. Like it looks good. It looks like nothing's major with it. The other one, you kind of get this weird like tingle, like a almost like an arcane tingle about it that feels dark, that feels bad. Okay.
All right. It's all right.
So one you felt good about. The other one was not your friend. Like the other one you felt.
So I'm gonna there was a few like weird little design choices on there that got my my dwarven senses tingling. So I'll pop open the one I felt good about first.
All right. So you pop open this chest, and inside there. Let's see. So inside there's like this metal, mangled kind of metal looking weapon in there, but you can tell that it is a hammer of some sort. The heads are kind of scored, in fact, and as you kind of look at it closer, it's designed almost like two flower buds like opening out on either side.
Okay.
And then it's like a golden haft, and these are the flower bud areas are made, it looks like, of some sort of green like stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got like jewels inlaid, green jewels inlaid in the cross kind of point, and then a couple, like one at the bottom and one like right above the handheld area. It looks like a warhammer, and it's got like engravings of like flora, like flowers and stuff all across it. And
Well, I can't say I'm in love with the design choices, but it appears well made. I will. Do you know what? Listen, I don't know how much of a hurry we in, but do you think we got a few minutes I could use to try to identify this before I start picking up strange weapons I find in a case? What say you, Lucas?
I think that should be fine. I can keep this light going for a little while. Just try to do it as quickly as possible. I'd like to get some fresh air soon.
All right. Yeah, Hrothgar would like to spend 10 minutes casting ritual, identify as a ritual, which would involve me picking up the hammer. So he'll do that first in case anything happens when I do that. Might as well. So he'll pick up the hammer. He fishes out his spell book, starts reading from it. Takes him about 10 minutes. If nothing happens in that, it should give me the nature of this object, if there's anything besides ornateness to it.
Yeah. So you pick it up and you start concentrating on this weapon. You start working through the ritual, the arcane thought patterns that you need to formulate, the words, the kind of frame of mind that you need to work yourself into. And after about 10 minutes of holding this hammer and looking at it, first, nothing bad happens to you as you look at it. Second, you get this sense that this weapon has more power than a regular weapon. It will hit better, harder. In addition, it's got a little quirk. Like, you're able to ascertain that this was crafted by a fey being, some sort of priestess of some strange, long forgotten nature-like religion. However, you get the sense that this would be a powerful weapon. On the other hand, you get the sense that the more you use it, the more you will get designs of flowers and such that will appear upon your person.
Well, It's as I feared. It seems to be well crafted and magical, but it must have been made by an elf. And there is a price to be paid for wielding this thing.
I heard elven weapons were very good. It makes it sound like you're not very appreciative of
Well,
it.
look at it. I mean, the thing's gonna smash better than a regular hammer, but from what I could tell, it's going to mark your skin or your clothes with sylvan designs that can't say I'm a fan of. But I don't know how used to swinging a hammer you are. I'll hold on to it unless you really want it.
Well, I've had to learn how to use a hammer while on a boat, but I've also used a hammer just in striking a foe before. But I think that you seem to be a bit more proficient with it. I will take it if you really don't want it, but I tend to focus on my arcane abilities.
Yeah, he'll. Does it require attunement, or is it just a? Oh, I see. It's a +1 warhammer with some forge to it. Gotcha. All right. He'll stow his old warhammer in his pack, and Hrothgar will put this on the hip holster he has there for this new one.
All right.
That looks nice.
Check it out. That is your new warhammer that you've gained. So,
like I said, it's well made, but it's a bit frilly.
Yeah, not exactly your dwarven sensibilities, but
They probably obtained it from some other elf, and you're using it as like a display piece. Now, here's a hammer I got from this guy.
Now this other chest here, it looks trapped. It doesn't look like it was made in a straightforward fashion. You don't happen to have tools you could possibly use to disarm something like that? It's outside of my expertise.
Well, I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would say, Hrothgar, you probably at this point, like, you spent time in this room and you investigated it, and as you've got the hammer and you finally put it away and you look, because you got a good roll, you look and you notice like a Durgar rune that's scrolled somewhere on the chest, like
okay,
a little piece, like it's a little rune that you recognize, that generally means death.
Gotcha.
And so you get a feeling that that's probably not the best one to pursue.
Yeah, let's move on. We've got what benefit we can from this place. That chest there's got nothing but badness inside it, I'm sure.
Yep.
So
all right, well, wouldn't you protect your most valuable thing in there if it has the worst trap to it?
Listen, I'll step outside. You can open it if you want. Just saying that I'll do it. You see that mark right there? I'll show him the mark without touching it. Now that there is the mark of death. So it either means that death to those who open it, or inside contains death. So it could be something that you can use to kill. But I'm going to leave that decision to you, and going to step outside and let you live with your choices there, mate.
Very well.
So Hrothgar's going to just step just outside the door, shield ready. And as Lucas is going to go towards the trap, trace a little rune in the sky and cast Blade Ward on himself in case something happens.
So Lucas does go towards the chest, and remembering that he's been stupid before, he does not have the best education. He's also had a captain that was a dwarf that would yell at him for not listening to others' wisdom. He instead casts prestidigitation onto the chest so that in common it says danger, and just walks out. Because not everybody knows about dwarven runes. I didn't know.
I'll give Lucas a pat on the back. Made a right choice there, lad.
Yeah. All right. So
I didn't think
really,
it's gonna have anything I wanted.
yeah. Really quick, like, and I was gonna change the way this worked, but the adventure that I am using says the chest contains a black hole of death. The player that opens this chest must make a DC 18 strength athletics saving throw to avoid getting sucked into the chest. And all other players can assist. Any player to make a skill check that makes sense to save the player. I was like, I'm not going to make it that crazy, but I'm going to make it. It would hurt a lot. So good choice walking away from that one.
Yeah. Like, I don't see that mentioned in the DMG, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was like, oh, geez, like, oh,
Black
you're
hole
just.
of death, you say? Oh, wow.
I guess if you're playing it as like a one shot, you're like whatever. Yeah. But if you're
as an actual storyline,
there's a whole breed of cats that really enjoy that kind of.
No, like that's totally like Tomb of Horrors style thing.
Yeah,
you're just
definitely.
Like, here you go and you die.
What's sad is the one-offs I've had mainly end in death. Usually because the little hints I give, because I don't want to give too many hints, the players don't catch.
Yeah. It happens.
Sometimes it's fun to die in a one shot. Like it's fun to go out in that blaze of glory or whatever. But yeah,
Shadow stepping into a pit of lava.
Yes.
So my just for a tangent, real quick. Yep. My one shot was 2 mana cores on Lamia was the main fight. The Lamia was pretending to be a slave that they were rescuing, and constantly touching them so that they would have a disadvantage will save on them. And even though that had all happened, they had gotten to the point where the Lamia died and one of the mana cores had died, but the other, so they had almost finished off the campaign without dying.
And then the Manticore
feasted.
Had other plans.
Yeah, that was my tangent.
Huh. Yeah, no problem.
All right, we'll head back and head to the third turnoff, I suppose.
Yeah, so you get to the end of the hallway and you turn to the right, and there is about 10 feet ahead of you. There is a hallway that leads off to the left. But if you look straight forward, there is like an opening that like opens into a little room, and you can kind of see there's a pathway beyond that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Stay in the course. Well, let's check out that side room. You know, don't want to leave anything valuable behind. We wouldn't be adventurers if we did.
You can't say that when we just left the chest behind, saying it's too dangerous. But I agree with
my life to be the most valuable thing I have.
I like your first plan of I don't want things sneaking up on us.
There's that too. All right, is there a door to this room?
No, there's like an opening.
Okay.
A portal without a doorway.
Yeah.
All right. What do we see inside?
All right. So if you're standing at the entryway, you look forward, and there's like a red circle that's on the floor. Let me double check. So it says far side of the room. There's like a doorway, and it looks like it's kind of like barred. Like there's metal bars in front of it, and in the middle of the room on the floor is a red circle. Like it looks like it's like stone inlaid into this this room that's kind of takes up a chunk of the middle of this room. It's not a big room. It's like 10 by 15 or so. So maybe like the middle kind of area is
where are the metal bars?
On the doorway across from you. It looks like there are metal bars there.
Okay. So we're looking into a room, and there's a doorway across the way, and there's the inlaid circle. Are there any loose stone or anything on the floor that I could easily grab?
Sure.
I'm just, you don't mind, Lucas. This sometimes it, it works. And Hrothgar's going to just try to toss a rock into the middle of the circle.
Okay. You lob it in, and it's not far from you, so it's really not tough. And you're able to toss it, and it bounces a couple times, but it lands in and remains within the circle.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't appear that anything happens that's shocking or amazing.
All right. I mean, keeping a cautious eye on it, and probably just using my passive perception of 12. Gonna try to enter the room. Avoid stepping on the red circle. Kind of go around the red circle and go over and inspect the portcullis or the guard.
What is Lucas doing at this point?
I believe he is disconnected.
Oh, is that just happened? I was looking at my.
I think it just happened. Yes.
Okay. Let's take a quick second.
Do you know what? I am gonna use this opportunity to refill my drink, if I may.
Sounds excellent. Internet just crapped out. He's trying to restart his computer now. So this is a good time to take a quick break and refill, because my water is empty too, and I probably shouldn't just drink whiskey. And hopefully he'll be back by the time we take a break. So
just got back.
Oh, cool. Perfect. I think we'll still just take a really quick break. Travis wants to get some water. I'm going to refill my water. If you need to do anything, feel free.
All right. I will go ahead and do that while I'm also pulling up everything back up again.
Sounds good. I'll be really quick back, but if you need to take a longer one to use the restroom or anything, feel free.
Okay.
Refreshing.
All right. Oh, it's warm. It's warm. I have a fan right behind me. If this makes noise into the microphone, please don't hesitate to tell me to turn it. But I'm hot.
Yeah, we'll see once you're settled in.
Yeah, right now I'm probably making all sorts of noise.
I got a fan going on my feet. Normally it doesn't affect the mic that way, luckily.
Yeah, this is like the tall, like Costco fans, and my wife said she left the AC on, but I think it just timed out, so it's starting.
I actually typically can't have the AC on because there's like the vent is literally right above my computer, and it just like blows right down.
Oh yeah,
and it makes the worst sound on the mic for some reason.
It's a bummer because the feeling of AC is glorious.
It is. It's not too bad tonight though. Again, open window over there.
I mean, the weather in this area, it has definitely gotten better.
Yeah, I've noticed this week. This week's finally that horrible heat has surpassed us, blessedly. I didn't even go to the pool today. I was like, that's not even hot enough to go to the pool.
Yeah. Who needs the pool? Here's some more. This is what I got for your... it's going to be a Warhammer. I made a very generic hammer when I was making, because I didn't know who was going to open or what they were going to get. So it is called Horde Smasher.
Gotcha.
And some of that I changed just for the looks to be what I thought. I found a cool hammer I wanted to use. But given the flora, I was like, dude, the flower, this is perfect for this weapon.
That will do.
Yep. And I used from Absolute Tabletop, put out a supplement to be a better weapon master. And I used that to roll up like the intricacies, the the interesting facts and the fact that like as you start swinging this, you're gonna start to get like flower tattoos essentially like appearing on your body in places.
Yeah, no, it's cool to have some what do you call it? Some personality to it.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's a cool little supplement that I've made a ton of weapons for. Like literally, I think I made one for every weapon type, so that like depending on who opened this, there was going to be a different one because I just didn't want the first like magical item you guys to come across would be useless to everybody. So I figured it would be something that was useful.
Definitely.
Oh. Well, I'm bummed about Carl, but it's totally understandable. So
yeah, can't. Those things happen.
Yep, I've been there. So as it was, like I was at work and it was like taking forever for them to get me out of there. I was like, come on, please, just please. I want to go home. I want to prep. I want to like double check what's going on.
I took the kids to the park, ran them out.
Yeah, like you were going to sleep early.
Fed them early. Yeah, they were all
Nice.
in bed by like 7:10. I was like, oh,
That's phenomenal.
glorious.
Yeah. I mean, if
My wife was tired, so she went to bed too. I was like,
oh, score. Yeah. And my wife's been great. Staying in another room. So I've exiled her from the main room. But I don't want to be too far away from the Wi-Fi source.
Yeah, that's always a problem.
Yeah, normally I use my PC, but it kind of crapped out, and I haven't spent the time to play with it. Like, I think I just need to, like, I probably need to download, like, a reboot disc or whatever, you know?
Sometimes it just needs a wipe and restart.
Well, because it will, like, it just says, like, loading operating system, and it'll stay there for hours saying loading operating system. So I have some like USB drives or whatever that's like 8 gigs. So just
your hard drive could have crapped out too.
Yeah, it's possible. I was debating getting some new, like I keep seeing like solid state drives come up on like sale.
They're getting cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah, like you know, $100 or so, you can get a decent solid state drive, and I'm like, maybe I pick one up. If that's the case, I might have to, but we'll see. Luckily, I save almost everything to the cloud, so I have all my notes like saved. I use OneNote for my campaign design stuff, and then I have my kid. I bought him like a drawing pad it's Rocketbook, so I can take a picture of it, and then like it scans it and puts it on my Google Drive, and then I just drag it from his folder and put it in my folder. So it's like I'm writing all the notes. Not that much has happened, but so that I remember, like, okay, I gave out this gold and this Warhammer, and you know, it makes it pretty easy. Gotta love technology. All right, so you walk in the room and you're inspecting this metal thing, this metal grate that's blocking the door. There's a red circle in the middle that you so far avoided. Lucas, what do you do as Hrothgar moves forward out of this little area and moves across this room?
All right. So can I give another description of the room? I think I had missed part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you caught. So you enter, like, you walk down, you pass the turn off on this hallway, and you walk up to this portal, right? There's no door, but there's a portal, and in the middle is a red circle, just like it's inlaid, like a different type of stone, inlaid into the floor, and like this solid red circle. And then there is another opening in the door, which is barred by metal bars, like metal, almost like a prison cell looking thing. It looks like it's barred over there, and Hrothgar has moved forward to investigate.
All right. So we're assuming red circle is bad, right?
Well, it typically, red means, harm or it seems weird. And going by how they've constructed this place since then, I'm sure it has some sort of
We're hoping it's not a big red button.
Yeah, some sort of nefarious deeds. I'm guessing it maybe has something to do with opening these bars here, but I figured I'd check it out first before we go any further.
From where I am and using the light on my little stone, I'm going to try to see if I can see any like small holes in the wall or anything like that that might be like something that could jet out a dart or a spear or something that could be dangerous to be near the walls.
Okay. Perception check or something of the like.
I got 15.
Okay. You look, and it looks like the walls are smooth. You don't see any openings. You don't see anything that would kind of set off your concern about this room at all.
Well, I can only hope that they're as clever as you think they are and not very high on that side. And I'm going to try to follow Hrothgar, following his steps, knowing that his steps are a little bit less than mine. But try to match his until he might hit a button or something.
Yeah, so you step in the room carefully, following Hrothgar's step, and as you get past the portal, a solid stone wall falls behind you, trapping you into this room.
Yeah, and touch anything.
That's fine. All right. Am I seeing any locking mechanism, or are these just straight up bars going from floor to ceiling?
It looks like just straight up bars going floor to ceiling, keeping you from moving beyond.
All right. Well, we're not going to get anywhere without taking some risk. Hrothgar's going to try to step on the red circle. He'll just step back, keep his shield ready, and see what happens.
Okay. So you step
on the circle,
like the actual red part of the circle. You're still like, you haven't gone in. You're still on the side, and you put your foot down.
Yeah, I put my foot down, and I'm on the part nearest to the iron bars, because that's where I was.
Okay. So you put your foot down. Nothing seems to happen.
All right. Well, so far so good, and he'll step fully into the red circle.
Okay. You step fully into the red circle. I'm assuming taking your time and everything, you're probably hesitant. So you step into the red circle. Nothing seems to happen while you're in there.
Well, nothing happened till the both of us are inside the room. Care to join me, Lucas?
Now, what are you doing at this point? And how readily are you moving forward?
Let's see. Our main plan was to try to get past these bars across the room, right?
That seems to be the course we're taking now.
Well, I'm going to scoot around the red circle first and see if I hear anything past those bars, because step on the red circle could release a giant creature, per se, and then we're trapped in a room with a giant creature that's trying to eat our faces.
Yeah. Been in worse situations.
I have not yet.
You're young.
I like to stay young until elder the age.
All right, cool. So you move over to the bars and you try to listen. Why don't you give me a perception check?
That time I did one better, 16.
So you sit there and you listen, and you don't seem to hear anything coming from the room beyond you. At this point, you've probably been kind of looking around, poking around. It's been about a minute now. Lucas, give me a dexterity saving throw.
14.
Okay. The room fills with flame almost suddenly out of nowhere, and you take 2 points of damage. Hrothgar, you seem to be just fine.
Red zone, good zone.
Though it engulfed the room, did not seem to bother you in the least.
Should listen to me, Lucas. What? How badly hurt does Lucas look?
I mean, he got singed. I mean, he took 2 points of fire damage.
Okay.
So he's kind of singed, yeah.
I'm at like a fifth of my hit points down. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, you are kind of squishy to start with. And I think he took some damage before. Yeah,
with the rocks, I got 2 points of damage originally.
Yeah. All right.
I move into the red circle.
Okay. So you jump quickly into the red circle, and the room fills again with flame. But both of you seem to be just fine. It seems that for whatever reason, this red circle, and if you'd like to give me a perception or arcana check, you may be able to.
Yeah, I'll use my arcane knowledge. Where'd my dice go? There it is.
Sorry, was that to both of us, or was that just...
Yeah, whoever, if you guys feel that you would have any inclination, feel free.
My guy does not have an arcana being a spellcaster. 17 perception.
Right. And Hrothgar actually critted his arcana check with a 24.
Very nice.
So I've seen something like this before.
Yeah, Lucas probably is not, but Hrothgar, you've done some pretty intense study learning the ways of the arcane. And you realize that this is some sort of protection ward that will protect you from this particular damage, this particular fire damage, this spell that's around you that you've noticed is some sort of like flame-based trap that's, again, it's designed to engulf the room unless you are wise enough to know to be in the circle. So you lucked out by having stepped in the circle before the trap triggered, and you sit there and you watch, and the flame goes off several times, but as long as you two are in there, you're fine.
Is it at a fairly consistent interval?
Yeah, it's roughly every few seconds. Like it seems like there's a flash, and you feel the heat, you feel the warmth, but it doesn't penetrate. It doesn't actually harm you in any way, other than maybe your throat gets a little dry from inhaling the warm air. But other than that, you're good. And as you sit there and you watch and you're trying to figure this out and how it's going to end, all you know is that being in this red circle is safe. So you stay there and you watch and you wait and you look. And after about a minute, the flame stops and both doors elevate. Both the stone slab that fell behind you and the metal bars elevate and enter into the roof, leaving both portals clear.
Well, I'm ready to move on.
Give me one moment as I put on the red... if I mess up the... I'm assuming that Hrothgar may have informed me that the ward was there to inform.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
So I'm going to go to the stone slab door, and just before the portalway, I'm going to use prestidigitation to mark in common with arcane wording saying "stand in the red circle."
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that way, if Feradin and Zero come, they will have some idea of what's going on.
That's been my main premise: is running back and basically saying, "This is the trap. Don't do what this says now."
Marking it for us. All right, so we'll continue through the portcullis corridor.
Okay, perfect. So you enter into this corridor, and as you walk into the room, you notice. So you enter the room, and you get this like musty smell, kind of overwhelms you. The room has it's got books along the wall. It looks like it was some sort of library. Many of the papers look like they've deteriorated with age, kind of turning into dust or too brittle. If you would like to look around the room, but basically, like, it is a small little, 15 by 15 room, if that. This just got all the walls are filled with like books and papers and scrolls and things just kind of shoved in places. And if you would like to look around, feel free to give me some sort of.
Yeah, Hrothgar's definitely got some perked his interest. He'll probably investigate, see if there's anything that looks particularly interesting to him. Okay. That's with a 21 investigation.
Yeah, so you get it. Like, you look and you see like a lot of these books are worthless. Like they've gotten so old that they aren't really going to be
even
worth
move them. They're gonna just crumble.
And you see that, but you see that there's one one thing stands out for sure first, and it is there's a case. It's a wooden case. It's not like super big or super thick or super ornate even, but there's a wooden case, and it's sealed with like one end is just sealed with like a iron end, like end cap to it. Almost looks like a PVC pipe with an end cap on it. The other end is sealed. It's got another end cap on it with like a wax that's been like put around the edges of it to maintain it. And this looks like it would preserve something inside almost indefinitely, because it's going to keep the elements out. And though it looks old and dusty, it looks like it's worth looking closer at. Given your role, you will also realize that there is no danger to open this. Mm-hmm. And if you would like to open it and see what's inside, we can proceed.
Yeah. Hrothgar will definitely pop it open.
Okay. You pull it out and you notice arcane words on there, arcane inscriptions and drawings of motions of the hand and all the instructions that you would need to be able to cast a fireball spell. So this is a scroll of fireball.
Excellent. All right.
And also, as you look around, you notice that, and then it's it's an awesome spell to just find. So you're excited to have that. But as you're kind of looking around, you also notice that there's a piece of paper that is kind of like sticking out of some old book that you spot, and for some reason it seems kind of special, seems something worth checking out. So you'll pull it out and you look at it, and it says, "My final days are upon me. I write this letter in hopes that my most important weapons will be secure in the darkest depths of what I would consider to be my greatest creation. Stowed away once our job is complete. This temple will house my most prized possessions. In the deepest levels lay my arm, my heart, and my soul. These were the tools I used to defeat the most evil creature that has ever faced my order."
Man.
Besides that, you kind of look around, and pretty much the rest of the books look like they're going to be useless. Even the book you pulled that out of kind of starts to disintegrate as you...
so I would definitely share this part to Lucas. Well, at least we have some context to why this structure even exists here.
Lucas in this time has been dreading the fact that he's in a library, not being a studious type. but is looking for books that look like if they were fresher, that they would be worth something, and casting mending on them to try to retrain some of their nature associated to it.
Sure. Yeah, you don't know a lot. Why don't you give me a investigation check?
They're looking for books that look like they have gold glittering or like
Yeah.
Hey, I rolled pretty well. 17 minus 1 is a 16.
All right, cool. Yeah, you find, let's say, 2 books that you kind of see that you're like, you know what? I don't know what they are. I don't know who would want them, but they're old and they look cool. They look kind of ornate.
They're in a library. A library will probably want to buy them.
Yeah, so you spend some time mending these as Hrothgar is kind of looking over this arcane scroll and looking over this letter, and you manage to find 2 books that you think might fetch some sort of coin if you were to sell it at like some antiquities dealer or some library.
Say we're going back to probably have somebody that will buy it.
Yeah. So
There's
if you like, you have regenerated 2 books.
Well, at least it appears there might be something here well worth our time and effort.
What'd you find? So I'm putting a book into my pack.
Well, it seems that whoever created this place housed the darkest, probably the center at the bottom of this place. Some sort of powerful magical items. 3, it appears. He calls it his arm, his heart, and his soul. He says there were tools used to defeat most evil creatures that has ever faced my order. Yeah, it all seems like it'll be useful for our organization. And defeating evil's always a good day's work.
Right. But so his arm could be literally the hammer that you picked up. Possibly you've already found one.
In that you got a point there. Interesting that. Looking at his handwriting, could I maybe use my insight to see if I could gain anything from what he's written? Like, I mean, you could gain some stuff of it. Sure. An elf is gonna, draw very differently than a dwarf. Yeah.
Calligraphy to race ratio.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see here. What is my?
Would that be an insight?
Yeah. That's what I figured.
Why not?
Insight? No. That's a 4. I'm not much of a handwriting expert, but yeah, it could be. All right, Hrothgar. Right, is this the end of this corridor where you're gonna have to double back, or was there more to explore? Okay.
No, yeah. Essentially, like that. This room has no exit to it.
Gotcha.
And you will have to kind of double back if you're going to move further beyond this point.
All right, yeah. Let's head back. Does the fire room reactivate when we re-enter, or does it?
It does not. It seems that you're exiting this room is fine. Entering may cause it to reactivate, but once you've gone in, you may exit freely.
All right, excellent. Let's head out.
So is the fire supposed to keep the books safer? Like, is it burning away dirt? Is that what it's for as I'm walking out into the other hallway?
Yeah, I think it's probably to keep the people who shouldn't be going in there not going in there. You know what I mean?
True, but still, it seems very
Well, I mean,
uncomfortable for anybody else that's going in just for a book.
books hate moisture, so there's that.
I guess that's true.
Of course, they also hate fire.
You'd think that fire would be the worst enemy of books.
Certainly not their friend.
But let's continue, I guess.
Yeah. So you go back up. You reach this turn. You turn down and you start down this hallway, and it's a decent length. Like you go down, you take a right-hand turn. It starts heading down, and then you take another right. You go a little bit distance. Turns left, goes a little bit of distance. And finally, you come upon a set of stairways that lead deeper down into the seems like deeper into the depths here. And there's like a tunnel with it's a slim stairwell, barely even like not even 5 feet wide. One person can fit through each, going deeper down. And if you would like to continue, move on.
Yeah, I think not.
I pause just in case you guys have some spell or something you want to do before you.
No problem. Yeah, Hrothgar's happy to continue.
Okay. All right. So as you make your way down the long set of stairs, you enter a small room. It's got 4 doorways that are standing in front of you. To your left are 4 slots in the wall, and on top of the slots lay the words strength, faith, courage, will. So there you go.
All right. So there's a label for each slot?
Yeah, it's above all the slots. Yeah, so strength, faith, courage, will, and then there's a slot underneath each word.
Okay. And how big are these slots?
They're fairly small. They're kind of almost like keyholes in the wall.
Gotcha. And are there any other objects that stand out in the room or on the floor?
Other than that, the room is pretty plain. Like it's obviously been crafted, but there are the 4 doorways that you can tell are leading off to straight ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're staring at the doorways, these slots are on the left. The doorways are straight ahead of you. And
okay.
So there's 4 different doorways and the slots to the left, and that's basically it. Other than that,
are there and there are doors in these passages, right?
Yeah, each one has a doorway. Yeah,
okay.
An actual door.
Hrothgar'd like to try the first one, see if it's locked.
Okay, so staring at this place.
Yeah.
The first one being the left or the right?
Left. Yeah, we'll go first one on the left.
Perfect. All right. First one on the left. Let's see. So entering the room, you see there's a key that's actually it's plain as day. It's on the opposite side of the room. It'd be pretty easy to get if there weren't a 20-foot gap between you and this key.
Okay.
And there's a pit, like a crevice that just opens up below you and goes down deep, and it's 20 feet. So yeah.
All right, let's see here. Well, I'll fish out just a copper piece and kind of toss it straight forward, kind of into the pit, see what happens.
Okay. And so you're checking to see, what happens to the pit.
Yeah.
What are you thinking as you're doing this?
Thinking, well, I guess easiest way to find out if there's anything wonky about this room is to throw an object in there, and copper piece ain't much to me to anyone else. So it's more of a curiosity, I guess, would be the general.
So you flip a copper piece, and it falls as if it's, it just falls down into the steps.
What was the order of the words again? Faith, strength, courage, will?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if we're following that, this could be some sort of room of faith, of which I can't say I am a man of great abundance of that. Don't know where your faith lies. But,
luck.
Well, then I guess I'm better served, and let's hope Moradin's shiny beard smiles upon me. And
should I tie a rope to you so you can at least have faith that I will catch you in case this does not work?
Yeah, that's not how faith works. And he just steps out into nothingness.
Perfect. You take a step, and as your foot falls, it hits something solid.
Praise be the God of the mountain. And I'll continue walking till I'm able to reach the key, perhaps.
You walk your way right up to the key, and the key lies before you, just kind of like hanging there on the wall.
All right, grab it, and hopefully walk back.
Yeah, you're able to. As you walk, you grow more sure of what you did, and you are glad that everything worked out just fine. And Moradin guided you and protected you as you walked over thin air to grab.
Well, it wasn't all Moradin. I have Featherfall memorized as well. So
I had faith that I wouldn't die following, at least.
He doesn't say that till he's off the.
Yeah. No, perfect. That's awesome. So you walk over, you grab the key, and you walk back.
Have faith in your God, but gotta have faith in yourself as well.
Yeah. No, sometimes your God wants you to do something for yourself.
Moradin always said, faith without works is dead.
Faith is forged, I thought.
All right, so you head back out.
Let's see what the he'll come up to the second door and kind of say, "Lucas, after you."
You're going to trust me with the strength one? As I open the door.
I'm right here behind you.
I open the door, or at least I check to see if it's locked.
Which one are we looking at?
I think this is strength. It's the next one right over.
Next one over.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they're specifically in that order.
Yeah. We're just
checking.
assuming that, but we don't know.
Yeah. All right. Next door over. So you enter into a small room, and in the middle you see a circular pit about 4 feet in diameter with a rope connecting to a metal bar on the ceiling hanging down into the pit.
What's the kids in this place? Like the Drugar are falling a lot.
This place is the pits.
Yeah.
There it is.
So, and as you're kind of looking, this there's a bar and a rope. So there's a metal bar you can hold on to, and a rope that goes up and over a pulley sort of a thing. And the rest of the rope, and a decent amount of rope is there. Kind of spooled up and tied off on the wall, so it looks like someone could manipulate the rope to help raise and lower this handhold, and then there's a pit that goes down.
All right. So basically, it's someone holds onto the bar and someone else kind of raises them up with the rope, right? Do we see a key is openly visible at this point?
No, it's pretty dark down there, so it's hard to see anything in particular.
Well, looking at Lucas and then kind of like looking at his burly, thick dwarven arms. Not to put you down, Lucas, but I didn't spend all my life with my nose to books. And what's your strength score, Lucas? Like, basically, Hrothgar's trying to, compare muscles here.
I have an average strength of 10.
Okay. Hrothgar's hefty strength of 15. So I think he's easily to ascertain. Maybe you grab onto that bar and I'll lower you down the pit. You got that nice little light bulb on your, well, I guess I don't know what a light bulb is, but I was thinking a bulb as in a rat. It kind of looks like a radish that's on, and so I'm calling it a light bulb,
Makes sense, right?
I think this is closer to a light bulb as I'm pointing to my stone.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's a radish shaped. It kind of looks like a radish, a bulb, and it gives off light. It's a light bulb.
To be honest, I was going to suggest that I'd be the one holding the bar because I don't think I could lift a sack of stones such as yourself, and you look a bit heavy.
Yeah, I got some pounds on me. That's for sure. I'll lift you down there. You're in good hands, and like I said, got feather fall if anything goes bad.
Thankfully, one of us does.
Hrothgar will man the rope.
All right, good. So Lucas, you grab onto this bar and you kind of like dangle yourself out there. And Hrothgar starts to slowly kind of like let the rope out so that you are slowly lowering down. It's not that tough. The pulley makes it pretty easy for Hrothgar. And you go down and you got about 30 feet down in this pit, and you'll see that there's a pedestal in it, like the bottom, that with the key sitting upon the pedestal. And Hrothgar lowers you further, like he's just kind of lowering it, waiting for you to react one way or another, because he can't see exactly what's going on.
When I get to being about head level to the pedestal, I tell him to stop. I see the key.
All right.
Okay. Lucas, why don't you? Yeah, you know what? You got a decent passive perception. We'll say that you notice the floor of the room seems to be moving, and at first it's like seems weird. Like, are my eyes playing tricks on me? It's dark. I have this light, but as it kind of moves a little bit more, you notice that it's crawling with spiders. And as you get towards the pedestal, you notice that there's large spiders that seem to be like moving towards you quickly. Now you're close to the key, so you think you possibly reach it and hopefully get out of there quickly, or you could try to figure out some other way. What would you like to do?
So it's within arm's reach of me, or does it only look like it's within arm's reach?
No, at this point you're within arm's reach. Like, as you get to the point in which you are within arm's reach, you notice that there's a bunch of little, like you had already noticed there was like these little spiders all over the ground. But then as you got within arm's reach, it seemed like
they were summoned to come towards me.
Yeah, like there's 5 larger spiders that are rushing at you from the edges of this little, like this opening at the bottom where this pedestal is. They're rushing towards you, like looking like they're going to attack you.
All right. So him lifting me is not going to be super fast, I'm pretty sure. Could I ascertain in quick thinking whether these keys seem relatively strong? Like durable?
Oh.
Like, are they made of raw iron kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's pretty sturdy keys.
Okay. So I'm going to yell out, Hrothgar, start pulling me up, and I'm going to try to use my dexterity to put my legs over the bar and then free my arms so that when he's lifting me up, I can try to reach the key and use my lower body to keep me steady instead of relying on one arm to hold me up and possibly falling.
Okay. So, first, why don't you give me a roll? Either, I think they're the same, acrobatics or athletics, to be able to kind of adjust your grip and then to be able to hang upside down to grab. So it's one check, but you're either kind of flipping yourself around acrobatically, or you just using what little strength you have to kind of adjust and lean down and grab at this key as Hrothgar yanks you upwards.
So seeing as the it doesn't matter which one it is, it's the same score.
Yeah, it's really just narrative.
I thought as acrobatics, where I'm actually like contorting and forcing myself to be flexible. Squeezing my legs from my underneath my chest, from the chest, and holding my arms out and legs spring out, then hooking around so that my body can just suddenly dangle right away and I can just go for the key.
How did that turn out?
I rolled an 18, 16.
Oh, very good. So yeah, you're easily able to kind of like flip around. You hook your almost like a trapeze sort of thing. You hook your legs over this, reach down, you grab the key. Hrothgar, you are yanking at this rope, I am assuming at this point. Why don't you give me an athletics check to see how quickly you're able to yank it up and to see whether you do so before.
That's a 17.
Very nice. Perfect. So you're able to yank at him and you pull him up as hard and as quickly as you can, hand over hand, just pulling it at Lucas. And Lucas, you grab this key, and as you're pulling up, 5 spiders jump in and slam against each other as you're able to be yanked out of the way from these and away from danger. You see the spiders kind of like, reaching up at you, chittering, and but Hrothgar pulls you up quick enough, and it seems like the spiders kind of subside and go back to their corners as they were unable to grab you in that order that they were in.
All right. And am I able to possibly use my upper body to swing myself towards the land so that he can lower me back down to the ground?
Yeah. Once you get up, between your kind of ability to kind of move yourself around and his ability to hold it steady or to maneuver the rope up or down as needed. Once you get up and clear, it's not too hard. He can tie it off and even help you off of this and get you free of it. And then you've obtained the second key.
All right, I'm not sure if that was strength or courage.
What you mean seemed pretty simple to me.
I only make it look simple. As I stand up.
Well, that's 2 down, 2 to go.
So is this next one yours or mine?
Oh, I'll be opening this one. So Hrothgar will open up the third door. Third door from the left.
All right. So you open up the third door. The room contains a set of stone stairs that lead up to an altar. And on the top of this altar, on this dais, there's a bowl that sits upon the altar. It's about a 1 foot wide bowl, and it seems like it's about 1 foot deep. And it's filled to the top with a thick, it looks like thick purple liquid, and you can't really see through it. It's opaque. And it seems to be actually connected to the altar. So it's like a solid stone altar that has a stone bowl that is worked into the altar. So you couldn't actually lift the stone bowl itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
We don't see the key.
No.
So the stone bowl is on a pedestal and in kind of like the center of the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was on a sort of altar. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if we're going off the same idea, if this is courage, it's just reaching into the liquid and try to grab a key.
Well, you know, I don't have any other bright ideas. I'll do it. And the Hrothgar will just stick his hand to the liquid and start filling around.
All right. Hrothgar, why don't you give me a Constitution saving throw?
All right.
Always a wizard's top score.
Well,
But you are a fighter too.
This wizard has got stronger constitution, but I rolled crappy. It's 13.
13. So you dive your hand down, and as you reach down and you kind of wrap your hand. Yeah.
Just quick, I do have dwarven resistance. If this is poison, I get advantage against that. So that's for you.
Unfortunately, it
doesn't sound like it's poison.
Sounds like
as you reach down, your skin starts to tingle and burn, and you're able to grab the key. You feel your hand wrap around it, even though there's pain, but it's a lot of pain. And you yank your hand out, and you take 7 points of acid damage as this purple liquid started to eat away at your hand.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But you got the key.
Yeah. He'll shake off the the acid as best as he could. Maybe grab a cloth from his backpack to try to wipe it off. We got the key. It wasn't the smoothest of transactions, but well, it is done.
Before you put it away, I want to look at the keys and see if they look the same.
Good call. Well, what do we see when we look at all 3 keys we have so far?
They look very similar. There's and you've kind of noticed as you grab each key that they have some slight differences to each one.
Enough that we could tell them apart.
Yeah, just enough. Like they have different
notches,
different twists and turns, notches. It's not like it doesn't say strength or will or anything across them, but they do have different notches, and you would kind of ascertain which one comes from which room. Like you'd be able to remember that. This is something you think may be important, so you're paying attention.
Because I'm terrible at remembering things, my suggestion, even though we're going to get the last key, is to place the keys in front of the slots that they're supposed to go to.
Fair enough.
That way we don't get confused later on, because we don't know if the will one's going to require a long period of time or not.
All right. Hrothgar's okay with that.
So I placed the key I got before the slot that would be S, like on the ground or on a table if there's a table there or not.
Okay, so you say there's nothing, but you set it on the ground in front of strength. And Hrothgar, I believe you hold 2 keys.
Oh yeah, I'll do the same. I'll put the first one that I got in front of Faith, and the acidic one right now. I'll lay that down under Courage.
Okay, sounds good. So there's one door remaining that you have. The one door that you have not opened.
All right, so I guess this one's mine. So I open the door and peer in.
All right. As you enter into a large room, you see that there are stone pillars filling the room as far as you can see. And like there's like a long corridor you go down. So if you go down this corridor, and I don't know, Hrothgar, how close you are staying to.
I'll stay just about 5 feet, behind.
Okay.
Keep one.
So you go down this corridor, and it opens up into a large room, and there's just pillars throughout, like this entire room.
Right.
All right. No light source coming from inside the room.
Nothing beyond the light that is on your companion's hand.
All right. Well, do you want to take one side and I'll take the other? We'll circle around and see what we encounter.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
All right. Hrothgar will go right.
I'll go left.
Okay. As you guys enter further and deeper, you walk a little bit, and you hear a loud roar. As a loud roar is let loose. Okay. So at this point,
that's wonderful. That is.
We're gonna go ahead and roll some initiative just to kind of figure out when and how things unfold.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So whatever you got, feel free to tell me.
Hrothgar 12.
Okay.
Lucas 13 or 16.
Okay, Lucas 16. So. All right. So Lucas, you go first, and to start with, you don't exactly see what is making this loud roar sound, but it sounds like it's coming kind of further into this room. What would you like to do?
All right. Just so that we can try to see what is coming up before us, I'm going to go ahead and quickly pull out just a silver piece that I keep in my pocket and cast light on it so that it's shining with light and toss it forward.
Okay. Sounds good. So it goes forward deeper in. And is that an action or?
I believe it is an action to cast light.
I think it is. Yeah.
I think so. So it clinks, ding, 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 ding. And as the light kind of illuminates this area, you can see a humanoid-like figure with a head of a large bull, and it's standing there kind of like breathing heavily, red eyes glaring at you, and you notice a minotaur looking at you rather angrily.
I think we woke it up.
Yeah, appears so.
Should we put it back to sleep?
The eternal sleep of death.
They have to go morbid on me.
All right. So unless there's something else you would like to do, the Minotaur stamps its feet, and it's getting ready to charge right at you, Lucas.
All right. Since it seems to be focusing on me, I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I'm going to stay where... How far away does it seem to be?
I mean, the room's not gigantic.
Right.
But it's probably, let's call it like 20 feet away.
Feet? All right. I'm going to go ahead and try to step back another 5 feet just because I'm not a tank. But I'm basically just going to start having my fingers start having these icy crystals surround it as I'm getting ready to cast the Ray of Frost on my next turn because I've already used an action.
Yep. All right, perfect. So as the Minotaur kind of stamps, lowers its horns, and it's going to charge forward at you. Let's see. What is the bonus to attack on this? I'm assuming a 17 will hit you.
17 does hit me.
Okay. So it lowers its head, and it charges forward to... ram into you. And let's see. All right. And I will take 11 points of damage as this horn slams into you and tears open your flesh, kind of making you stumble back a little bit. And Hrothgar, it is your turn to act.
Okay, close the distance. Essentially, flank the beast to try to draw his attention away from Lucas to me, and I will reach out and attempt to grasp it and charge my my hands with lightning, and I do terribly with that. Rolling a 1.
What were you using? Your
it was a shocking grasp.
Shocking grasp.
Yeah, shocking grasp.
Check.
Is he wearing metal armor?
That's what I was looking to see. Yeah. Actually, unfortunately, he is just relying upon his natural ability to.
So, unfortunately, yeah. First attack roll and just rolled a 1. So it's a 5, but
there's still
critical failure.
Critical failure is still a critical failure.
I'll still yell at it and hopefully get it.
Try to draw its ire. Perfect. Lucas.
All right.
Just been gored pretty heavily, especially considering your diminutive stature.
All right. I cannot handle fighting something that's close. I can deal some damage, but it is not a beast which I'm trained to fight. And it does seem to still be focused on me pretty intently.
I mean, it charged forward. Hrothgar ran up, so I mean, it's kind of surveying and trying to ascertain at this point. Like you, with your light, like kind of drew its first attention.
If I wouldn't have fumbled, you would have been able to disengage for free.
Yeah, which is what he was trying, which was a very nice and noble action.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and risk it, and I'm going to go ahead and try to step further away.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hrothgar, though, you did say you moved into a flanking position, right?
Yes. So I wanted to be kind of like behind it, and that's where I went to attack.
So I'd go ahead and give you advantage on that. I'll use the flanking action on this, since,
very good. Then I shall attempt one more roll.
Yeah. It just dawned on me, like, the first thing was the spell, and I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, if he has metal armor, you get advantage, and I forgot about that you mentioned you were going to move into a flanking position.
Let's just continue. We've upgraded the die roll to a 2.
Well, it wasn't a natural one, so at least you didn't, like, shock yourself.
6 versus AC?
Yeah. He's using natural armor, but it's not that natural.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
Never mind. Lucas, continue the joke.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and risk it and try to pull further away. Trying to go, I'm going to say 20 feet back or so.
All right. 17 still hits. So he pulls back his large axe and he brings it down for 9 points of slashing damage as the axe catches you as you step away.
So very, very injured, as the gore and the axe suddenly have made him very aware of mortality. Finishing my movement, my hand begins to frost over and start turning a pale white as I go, oh, let the winter take you, as a beam of light fires from it, and hopefully I will hit. 17?
Oh, yeah, that definitely hits.
All right, so he is hit with the ray of frost, taking 6 points of frost damage, and I'm invoking the cold damage curse of the sea sorcerer, making it so that his speed is reduced down by 25.
Okay, cool. Minus 25 feet. And how long does that last?
It lasts once until my turn again. And
okay.
I had to hit him again.
Okay, cool. All right. So the Minotaur feels like frost, like enveloping it, coming around its body as it drops. and its legs kind of slow and stiffen, and it glances at you angrily, but then looks back at Hrothgar, not wanting to leave this foe at its back, and it turns and swings its great axe in Hrothgar's direction. Would a 15 penetrate your armor across that?
Unfortunately, no. I'm able to easily deflect it with my shield.
All right, so it swings at you, and you're able to bring your shield up and clang it away as his axe comes down ineffective, and you are able to stop that attack. And it is your turn.
All right. So the Lucas is now a fair enough distance away that he's not within swinging distance of him now.
Yeah, he was able to disengage, though hurting.
All right. This guy seems to be harder to peck down, to peg down. So he's going to make a few symbols in the air, say a command word, and throw out some magic missiles at this thing.
Okay. Well, they're gonna hit. So give me the damage.
So that's gonna be 9 points of force damage.
All right.
And I'm going to stay engaged with him.
Yeah. It staggers a little bit as these 3 little darts of force just slam into it. And
they look like little bearded dwarves, dwarves heads.
Just little dwarven heads, like headbutting this guy. And he staggers a little bit, partly from surprise at these little bearded dwarves slamming into him. And he staggers a little bit, but he kind of glares back at you, Hrothgar, almost forgetting that Lucas is there as you deal a decent blow against him. Lucas, it would be your turn.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, firing another ray of frost at him to try to keep his movement to a minimum.
Okay.
13 plus 5 is, 18.
Yeah, that'll do. That hits.
4 points of frost damage to him this time as I fire another beam into him.
All right.
Invoking the same curse.
Hrothgar, he glares at you, yelling out loud, and brings down that great axe one more time. And that should hit, because that was a 15 naturally. Which is a 21.
A 21?
Yeah.
Unless,
I guess you do probably have shield or something. So it's
I'll allow it. I'll take the damage for now. Yeah.
That was a good one because I rolled pretty low. That was 7 points of damage as the great axe comes down, managing to miss your axe and kind of like slashes across your belly, opening a gouge there.
Well, you're going to have to pay for that one.
And you do get to respond now because it is your turn.
Yeah, let's see here. Well, I'm just going to attempt a shocking grasp right now. And this would be a critical hit.
Oh, dang. Nice.
Which, yeah, that's not that bad. Okay, so let's do some crit damage here. So doing 14 lightning damage to him.
Dang, 14 lightning damage. It staggers as electricity jolts through its body, and it kind of seizes up a little bit as you shock it. Okay. It still staggers a little bit, but it still seems to be going.
I'm gonna keep to its threat range and keep his focus on me.
Give it, and it definitely would be with you have dealing such a grievous blow to it. it doesn't look happy at you. Lucas, you get to continue.
Does this beast look like it's winded in any way yet?
It looks like it's definitely hurting. Like it's definitely, bloodied, to use an old term. But yeah.
So what Lucas is going to do is, feeling the ache of the frost on his own hand from his own arcane backlash, not an actual thing, but I like flavor. He quickly pulls out from his spell pouch a crystal ball and starts enchanting it with this lightning suddenly charging forward from it. Just as the ball of energy comes flying out, he throws it forward, and he's going to do Chromatic Orb using lightning damage.
Nope.
And I rolled a 13 again, so that's another 18 to hit.
That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, we're looking for 14 is actually the target for him.
Okay. All right. So I rolled 19 lightning damage. I'm invoking the lightning curse, which allows me to add my charisma to the damage. So that's an additional 5, so 24 points of damage.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, he is. He's bleeding and he's angry. He roars, and
seeing it doesn't take him down, I'm taking an extra couple of feet back, just like nope.
Yeah,
it's a big sucker.
He glances over at you, Lucas, but he's got a dwarf that's been harassing him,
pounding him away.
Yeah, he decides to stay engaged with the dwarf, not wanting to leave such a mighty foe to be able to come up behind him again, and he's going to swing his great axe. That would be an 18 to hit.
Unfortunately, that doesn't get through.
All right. Again, he swings at you, and you see that he's enraged, and you're able to kind of spot his
just totally deflect all his momentum and just careen it off the shield.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're able to kind of like lift your shield at an angle that you figure, and his axe goes high and above your short head, and now he's kind of a little off. He's a little bit off of his guard, and you're able to now go.
So just for fun, as he's doing this, he's going to circle around him. Part of his move is going to grab this new warhammer from his belt, and it just felt like might as well give it a shot.
Good to go golfing every once in a while.
And we got 19 versus AC.
That will do.
Well, actually, that would be 20 versus AC because it's a +1, right?
Nice. Yeah, it is +1 damage too. Remember.
Yeah. So that'll be 8 bludgeoning damage.
Perfect. So yeah, he takes 8 more damage. Math. Okay. And Hrothgar, you feel this kind of like tingle, this slight little like twitch on your arm, let's say your forearm. Mm-hmm. Do you wear like long sleeves or like armor that covers your arms, or
so it's splint mail that he's wearing. So I as I understand it, I think it's basically chain mail with like plates, kind of like, I think that's essentially how split mail works, or maybe it's leather. But yeah, he is pretty fully covered.
Okay, so you feel like on your the forearm that wields this warhammer, you feel a tingle, kind of just a little part just below your elbow. Yeah, like right there. You feel a little tingle. And Lucas, it is your turn. The Minotaur is looking beat. It's bleeding from multiple areas. It's singed fur from lightning damage. It is it's just breathing heavy. Blood it's kind of like dripping out of its nostrils.
Right. So from my hand, once it's had its chance to recover, the frost starts turning into electrical charge as this lash goes around my wrist as if a rope, and I lash it forward. I'm aiming to like wrap around a lightning lure around its neck and try to pull it back to force it onto its back. It gets to have a strength save if I hit. I rolled another 13. If only 13s were criticals. And it has to be a DC 13.
Yeah. He rolled a 19 naturally, so
Okay.
he's good on the strength part.
Uh,
What's the damage you deal?
11 lightning damage.
11 lightning damage. So tell me how you want to kill this thing.
So, because it kept its body still during my attempt to pull, the lightning is going to dig in deep and start pulling, and the charge and heat is going to start burning at the flesh and start burning and burning until it gets near the core of his neck before it finally dissipates, and just finally the blood starts pouring out from his chest, and he just falls to his knees and falls forward.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, you've got this lightning lure. It wraps right around his neck. He roars in anger and pain as it digs in, and he attempts to even like pull against you, which just works to push it in deeper. And as you notice blood like start pouring out around this magical like lasso essentially that you've launched at him, you let the spell go, part in worry that this thing will be able to pull you closer to it, part because you see that just blood is gushing down, and as the lightning dissipates, it just gushes out even further, coating his dark brown fur even more, making it look almost black as the crimson of his blood seeps down, and he just he staggers, loses grip of his great axe, drops to his knee, and falls forward, slamming against the ground before Hrothgar.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And that was actually the exact number you needed to drop him, Lucas. So, like, the exact amount of hit points was spent. So, well done.
Oh, dear son, you don't look too hot there.
I've had better ballroom brawls.
Yeah. All right.
Let's find that key, and then we can.
Oh yeah. Well, you sit there. I'll find the key for you.
Sounds good.
Take a breather there. Hey,
Pick up my coin. It'll be light for you. I know you
got nothing more than a flesh wound here. So I'll look for the key in the room.
Okay. Give me either investigation or perception check, whatever you prefer.
15.
All right. So you look around, and you kind of like, first you're glancing around the room, seeing if he's protecting something like an altar or a pedestal like before, but you don't see anything. But then as you kind of like glance down, you notice that when the Minotaur fell and it hit the ground, one of the horns tweaked a little bit. It moved like from its socket, like it wasn't firmly on.
All right, I'll put my boot on its head and give the horn a good yank.
Yeah, so you yank it off, and you come away with a horn. And as you pull it out, you realize it's fairly hollow, and inside you see a silver key.
Oh, that's macabre. I'll reach in, yank it out, and we'll head back to the other room, and I'll look at Lucas like, hey, maybe we take a little breather before we start sticking these keys in the holes.
Might be a good plan. Caution, better side of courage.
We could take a short rest. I'd like to cast Alarm as a ritual. Just kind of put a barrier around the room, and I'll probably put it, like down the hallway leading into the room, just so that we know if someone's coming.
Sounds perfect. Yeah, so you're able to do that. You take your time cast the ritual, setting up, pulling out the twine or whatever it is that you need to do the alarm, and you create this protection. You guys hunker down, staunch some of Lucas's wounds, and feel free to roll whatever hit dice you would like.
Yeah, let's see here.
To see what you can get back. I believe you also all got healing potions, so if you desired to use...
Yeah, I'm still holding on to one healing potion.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like I have it down here. I don't think I've used it yet.
I sacrificed mine to pregnant lady.
Yeah, that's right. That was a great choice.
Do you have enough hit dice to keep you up? Or
I didn't use any last
okay.
turn, so I have all my hit dice still.
Yeah, so you should have 3, I believe. We're still level 3.
Yep. Problem is I have a ranger hit die and then 2 sorcerer hit die.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it looks like I'm going to be using another one of my sorcerer ones because that was terrible. I got 3 hit points back from that.
Ooh. Yikes.
All right, at least got 5 that time, so that's 8 back.
Plus your constitution. Go ahead per if you have constitution.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to spend one of my fighter hit dice at D10. I got me back up to 26. So
yeah, so I'm at 12 hit points right now.
All right. So Lucas does not look great, but he is staunched the wounds. He's not in danger of dying from a rock falling from the roof or you breathing heavily on him, Hrothgar.
All right, I think I'll hang on to the potion in case we really need it. You look good enough to walk about. I'm ready to move. Ready to move forward if you are.
All right. So you guys go back to the room with the keys?
Yep.
All
right. We'll lock them in.
All right. So what are you putting where?
So I think I don't know. I think we'll just do it in order. We'll put the faith one in first.
All right. So the faith one was the one of which one? The one that you walked across?
Yeah. So I'm going to take that key and put.
We had purposely placed the keys in front of the.
Of what we thought they were, at least. Yeah. So the room where we walked across the pit to get it.
Okay. Into faith.
I'll put that into faith and give it a turn, I guess. Okay. Does anything happen?
So it turns. It seems like it clicks.
Okay. The one with the bar, I think that's what we placed in front of strength. We'll pop that one in and give it a turn as well. The rope with the bar that lowered down.
Okay. So you put it in, you turn it.
And let's see, what are the other 2 words?
Does it click?
So strength, faith, courage, and will. It seems like it sticks. Like it's. I guess click is probably the wrong word. Like it seems like it holds where you put it.
It turns completely. Okay. It doesn't just.
So the next 2, I'm not 100%. So we got courage and will.
So far we have an acid thing, and we have a minotaur.
I feel like the acid might be more will, and that defeating that minotaur maybe took more courage.
I don't know. Have you stared down a fire bowl before? I think the whole point was to try to master the Minotaur and pull it down, make it your bitch in a way.
All right. So we'll take the acid key and put it into courage then.
Okay.
And give it a turn.
Okay.
And then the last one we'll put into will and turn it.
Okay. So you turn on the keys, and nothing seems to happen.
Okay, so maybe it's more courageous to face a Minotaur than it is courageous to stick
kind of smugly. Yeah, maybe it is. And the dwarf will switch the last 2, and we'll try it again.
You put them in, and nothing seems to happen.
Well,
Okay, so it's courageous to walk over nothing, and the faith was at an altar.
So I'll say this, that the acid one and the faith one felt very similar and felt better than the strength one and the courage one, just to save us some time.
Okay. So we'll switch courage and strength. So we have
It's more of a figurative strength.
We have the spider pit going into courage, and we got the strength going in the Minotaur one going into strength.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try that combination.
So you stick them in and you churn them, and this time, once you put them all in, a wall actually opens up off to your right-hand side that wasn't there before. Like there was a solid wall, and now it slides up into the roof and is now a corridor.
I'll disagree with whoever wrote that. I think it's the no. But I do think lowering someone into a pit was more of an act of strength than beating a mighty beast. But,
I think in their thing was more that it took courage to reach for the key with the spiders coming at you.
I guess
versus
it's also courageous to take faith that your friend will be able to pull you out of a dangerous situation. It has courageous elements to it. Also, spiders are creepy. I mean, I'm arachnophobic as well, so I wouldn't want to be in that pit at all. I'd just be like, pull me out, fuck the key.
Dude, Carl would have been pissed at me just for having that in here. He is really bad with arachnophobia. Anyways, I'm just moving on with how it was. But
no. Hey, you didn't write it.
I see your thing. And if you guys were 100% fighters, the strength may have made more sense with Minotaur. But because we were two spellcasters, it's probably a little bit less. So, anyways,
good point.
This hallway opens up. So I'm assuming we're going down this hallway.
Yep.
All right. So as you go down this hallway, you walk down. And so you make your way out to a large room. So as you make your way through the hallway, come to a large room. At the very end is a pedestal. You slowly walk. You can. I'm assuming you're walking towards it.
You notice a coin for light right now.
Yeah, for sure. You notice atop the black stone is a long white sword, and if you go closer, in white on the stone is the word soul.
So this is his soul, which would mean that the hammer probably is not the arm.
Let's see. Is there anything else in the room that kind of stands out to us?
It's pretty much like a plain austere, like there's nothing major in this room except for this pedestal with this this sword atop it, and it's like white hilt. The metal itself is like so light, so pure that the metal itself almost seems white, like it's not, because crafting, it's like a very fine silver, but the hilt is has like a white leather upon it. Everything on it is light, and
Can I investigate the pedestal to see if I see anything that seems nefarious or out of?
Feel free.
Yeah, 16 investigation.
Yeah, with that you're pretty sure. Like, it doesn't look like there's anything that would be harmful or damaging about the pedestal. It doesn't seem to be trapped. It seems like a fairly standard pedestal with a sword upon it.
Well, Lucas, do you want to take the 10 minutes it takes for me to delve into this thing, or do you want to just grab it and move forward?
Well, we don't want to go too far ahead of our friends, so I guess 10 minutes wait. Let them find out whether this place is a safe place with us and such. So go ahead and take it 10 minutes.
All right, so Hrothgar will grab the sword and kind of heft it first while he's kind of fishing out his spell book.
So I do have a question. Is the wording soul in Dwarvish as well? Is everything here Dwarvish, or is this a new language?
No, actually, it seems to be in common.
Common king.
All right, I'll take 10 minutes to cast identification as a ritual. It will tell me any properties the weapon has and charges if it has those.
Well, to start with, you pick up the sword,
Okay.
and as you lift the sword, the pedestal lowers down slowly and lowers into the floor. As it lowers into the floor, at the same pace, a door opens into the wall from a stone slab that slides up again and reveals a set of stairs that lead down deeper into the darkness of this area. Now, you're welcome to either move forward or you can relax and spend the time as you were planning to identify this word.
I feel confident. Like I don't know if I want to do this in the stairwell. So Hrothgar says, yeah, let's give it the 10 minutes here in the room. I have more space, and then we'll move forward if that's okay with you, Lucas.
That's fine by me. As I placed the coin at the doorway where that just had come accessible to us, so that if anything does come up, we'll see it with the light first.
Okay. Well, so you heft the sword and you're holding on to it, and you begin to start to concentrate. Like you start your head, but then you pause. You feel the sword. You understand the sword already. It seems like just by gripping it, you are automatically attuned to it.
Okay.
You know that this is a special sword. So to start with, it's going to hit easier, similar to your mace or the warhammer you picked up. But you know that it has a special affinity against undead and fiends, and will deal extra damage to it. And if for some reason you were able to heal someone, you would add extra healing based upon the sword's innate abilities.
All right.
And so you kind of know that almost immediately without having to spend 10 minutes. You're about to, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Somehow I know what this sword does.
Is this an instruction manual?
I know how to use a blade, but it's not my favorite weapon. You any good with a sword there, lad?
Well, my dwarven captain used to say that if you can't use a sword on a ship, then you can't be on the ship. Gotta be able to defend it.
I think you'll find this one to be a fine specimen, and I'll hand it over to Lucas.
So as you take it, you feel the same thing. You're like, wow, I could actually probably hit better than normal on this.
Is it a long sword?
You know what? It honestly doesn't. Oh, it does say a long sword. So yes, it is a long sword. I was gonna let you use it as a short sword because I know that has dexterity to it, but no, it specifically says long sword. So you're screwed. Yeah, long sword.
So what is the plus? Is that +1 as well?
It is a +1 longsword. It will deal an extra D10 against undead or fiends. And if for some reason you had some healing ability, it would heal a D4 extra heal whenever you cast a healing spell. You get the sense that this was the
Paladin's weapon?
Paladin, yeah, either a paladin or a cleric of this order that held this tomb. So yeah.
All right, let's head down the stairs.
All right, perfect. So you walk down the stone staircase. You arrive at a large metal door, and on this door is a giant carving of an incredibly beautiful woman wearing perfectly crafted armor, which probably to Hrothgar means more than to others. How well crafted this armor looks. In her right hand, she holds the sword that Lucas currently holds. She grasps a beautiful axe in the other hand and is draped in a vibrant, long red cloak. In front of the doorway stands 3 pedestals made of stone. Off to your left and right, there are 2 hallways that lead away from the statue. And it's kind of a long hallway and kind of openings. You can see there's rooms probably about 30 feet down these hallways.
Any marking or writing on the statue that we can see?
No, there's nothing. Like there's a woman, and in front of it are 3 pedestals that are made out of stone. But other than that, there's nothing. I mean, you can see the sword and
are these pedestals like floor to ceiling, or like? I mean, no. I guess I'm thinking of columns. These are flat on top and like.
Yeah, they're about belly to waist high, depending on your height. About table height.
Can I use prestidigitation, or can I look at the pedestals to see if there's like any indentation, or if I can't, can I use prestidigitation and move dirt to see if there is an indentation where like this sword should go here, possibly an axe goes on a different one?
Yeah, we could definitely. Let's see. Trying to double check the answer on that one.
So we just got the sword off a pedestal, so there's a good chance that these ones go back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. So if you look at it there and you kind of like clear the dirt off using your cantrip there to clean an area, it just looks like there are 3 pedestals that doesn't necessarily have indentations. They're large enough to hold some sort of objects, but it doesn't necessarily like have anything in particular in there that like there's not like a slot that you put like the sword and the stone sort of thing.
It's not Eric the Red's sword from Skyrim where you put it in here and now it's on dead slaying.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we have a right passage or a left passage, correct?
Yes, yeah. Your choice as to obviously which.
Hrothgar always votes right.
I will surrender to the wisdom of the elder.
All right, okay. So we'll head down the right passage first.
So you walk into a room, and for the most part, it seems empty. Very end, you can see what looks like a small stone slab about 2 feet off the ground, with what looks like a body on top of it.
Any markings anyway?
I mean, it looks like a human figure that's in some sort of like purple leather armor, with long, like kind of blonde or like bleached out hair. And
is this like a tomb, like laying out? Like, does the body look prepared, or does it look like it fell there?
Yeah, no, it looks like it's meant to be there, like it was positioned there. And in its hand is an axe, with both hands like holding onto it, so the axe is like laying atop its chest, and it's holding onto it with both hands. And it looks.
Sorry, I was about to ask, does it look like it's the axe that she was wearing in the statue?
It does look like the axe that she was wearing, and he looks incredibly well preserved.
Well, I can't say that I'm terribly in favor of taking things from the dead, but I feel like the only way forward and out of here is putting these 3 objects on those pedestals, and this here looks like it's the 3rd one. I'm going to vote we grab it and see if we can't get out.
Yeah, because the 3rd piece seems to be a red cloak, so it doesn't match the armor.
Yeah.
Should we?
Well, check out the other room first, perhaps.
Let's go and do that because I don't want to find out that it's a trap either way.
Yeah. All right. We'll double back and we'll try the left passage. Does anything happen when we leave the room?
No, nothing happens. You walk away, and you walk down the hallway. You don't hear any sounds or anything coming from behind you, and you move forward into the other passageway. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Entering this room, you notice another black pedestal, and on top is a pristine red cloak, just kind of like hovering, levitating just above this pedestal. You also notice 4 statues about 6 feet tall of men in full plate armor, and the statues are made out of marble.
And yeah, I get the feeling that this hammer I picked up might not have anything to do with this paladin.
It's just some tricksy elven stuff.
Yeah, it's just not fitting the narrative. You know what I mean?
Do you think that only the wielder of the sword should try to get these? I've shown as somebody that's been chosen, continue to be chosen.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, but so it's up to you which one you want to grab first.
Well, to be honest, the axe seems to be a bit easier if it's one undead thing. I have a sword for that.
Yeah, all right. I'll back you up on that. We'll backtrack to the other room and let Lucas attempt a grab.
All right.
So you move forward, and as you get closer to the body,
I do try to position the sword downward as if I'm going to pray, and I'm going to go. I'm not much for prayer, but I'm pretty sure that you're here for a reason, and we wish to not disturb you, but we feel that this axe could assist us in the future. I apologize now, and then I will reach to touch the axe. And
so you reach out for the axe, and as you kind of draw near and you reach for the axe, you feel the air kind of sucked out of your body, and you kind of freeze up, and the room even darkens. Like the light from your stone doesn't seem to be penetrating as well as it was before, and the creature, this man upon this slab, seems to dry up and desiccate, his hair kind of bleaching out to white. It almost goes like skin and bone, and for the first time in a long time, it rises up and swings at you.
yeah,
Is it wielding the axe?
It is going to be wielding the axe.
Gotcha.
So first off, we will roll initiative to see how well Lucas responds amongst everything else.
8 for Hrothgar, taking a little off guard.
Lucas,
17.
sorry, 17. Perfect. All right. So Lucas, you are able to spot this blow coming towards you. What would you like to do?
All right. Having the air sucked out of me and having already my blood knowing of magic feels the danger for it. So as it elicits the axe to attack me, I quickly flourish the blade back to the top. I'm going to two-hand bring it down and try to behead the undead creature.
Nice.
Going no. I rolled a 19. So
Nice roll. Yeah.
So it does a D8 and a D10, or is it just do a D10?
D8 plus a D10. It does extra damage against these vile monstrosities. Yeah, these abominations, I think is the word I was trying to go for.
7 on that damage, 6 on the damage against undead, and then +1, so that's 14 points of damage.
Nice, yeah, nice hit. So you bring it down, and you aren't able to sever it. Like it is rising, but you slash across its its chest.
Let me double check something because I said I two-handed it. I don't remember if long swords do different damage.
It does do an extra. I think it's D10. It's versatile. So
yes, D10. Let me
so why don't you roll
that.
the
Same number, oddly enough. So same damage.
Cool. What was the number again? Sorry.
14 total.
14. Perfect. So you bring it down and you slash across its chest, and in response, it is going to swing the axe towards you. Ooh, but that one nat ones. So in fact, he swings the axe at you, but his fingers are not used to gripping anymore. It's been so long, and the axe actually like comes loose from his hand and clatters across the ground away from it.
At least his hand didn't come loose from him. Just hand.
So it is laying there, or kind of like sitting up, and like stands up and kind of just growls at you. And Hrothgar's turn.
All right. Let's see here. Hrothgar would attempt to flank him and open up with a shocking grasp, if you may.
Sounds good. Yeah, go for it.
And what the armor he was wearing was leather, right?
Leather, but he's gonna use flanking anyways, so I'll give him an advantage.
It's only going to be a 13 versus AC. Not great.
Yeah, you were looking for one more than that, so just shy. Lucas, though, it is your turn again.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to continue assaulting on this thing with advantage now. I'm going to take that first roll. 17 plus the 1, so 18.
That will hit.
And I did one more point of damage as well, so 15 points of damage.
All right. So it kind of sways and staggers a little bit as you deal extra damage to it. It is not happy about this. Let's see what it can do back. All right, so it's going to reach out at you, Lucas, angrily, and with his kind of like almost skeletal hands at this point. And will a 12 hit you?
No, a 12 will not hit me because I had mage armor from the beginning of this adventure.
All right, good. So it tries to reach out, but you're able to kind of swat his hand away from you with your sword, and it pulls back in anger, kind of scared of this sword. Hrothgar, it is your turn.
All right. Hasn't really shown his true power yet, so I'm going to stick to a shocking grasp for right now.
Okay.
15 versus AC.
That will hit, yeah.
A mighty 4 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Perfect. It staggers a little bit as lightning courses through its body, whatever's left of it. And it would be your turn, Lucas.
All right. Go ahead and try to defeat this creature again before it tries to grab me again. I don't know what that was about. 19 or 10. So 19 plus 1 is 20.
Okay.
Up a little bit less damage, 12 points.
Okay. Okay. It actually at that it will crumble. Let me see exactly what it says, but it will like kind of stagger back. It crumbles to the ground, and within moments, it turns to dust, leaving a beautiful spirit. So, like this spirit, like replaces where it was. It seems like the spirit of the man that lay dead on the stone slab before it turned into the monstrous creature. And he floats above you and smiles. Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. You have freed me from the bonds that have held me for all these years.
Yeah, travel in peace to the other side, my friend.
Before you go, what's your name?
My name is Arthur.
Arthur, rest well, and hopefully the other side is better than this place.
He'll nod, putting his hand to his chest, and kind of does a half bow, and begin to dissipate, the light dispersing and kind of joining the world and ether around it.
That wasn't so bad. You want to grab the axe, or shall I?
I figured that if I'm going to be a chosen one, as I got to pick up the axe and see if I just instantly know about its power as well.
Yeah, so you scoop it up, and engraved on the handle is the word heart. The hilt of the axe is made up of a bright silver material and glows once you touch it. The blade reaches around the front and back of the weapon and is made up of a clear blue material. It is incredibly well balanced from hilt to blade. So it's a +1 hand axe. It has thrown property as hand axes do. And when you hit with a ranged attack, you deal an additional D4 radiant damage. And yeah, so as soon as you grab it, you kind of you feel this, and you know that it is an exceptional weapon.
1d4 if thrown, or if used for range?
Just if used, yeah.
Okay. Plus 1d4 radiant. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling that this lady was very against the undead.
Yeah, you get that feeling, yeah. All right, well, let's.
You want to check the armor to see if it's magical in any way?
Well, just a cursory glance on it. Does it look intact, or is it has it crumbled to dust as well? The armor that the creature was wearing.
It pretty much crumbled to dust along with the creature itself.
Okay.
It does not look very useful.
All right, let's move on to the cloak room.
All right. So we did determine that it does not matter if you're the chosen one with these weapons.
Seems like it. Well, I'll grab the thing.
All right.
So he'll reach out and grab the cloak.
Okay. You're able to take the cloak, and the cloak is made of a fine red silk, and it's you know pretty much by like just looking at it that it must be magical, because such a fine thin silk would not last in a dungeon down here for so long. You'll find let's see, your magic is very easy to cast. The player gives a player 2 extra first level spell slots, and the player can add a d6 damage to any one spell cast. So I think it's once a day. The effect resets after a long rest. So yeah, so you get 2 first level, and once a day you can deal an extra d6 damage. And you immediately know this once you like grab it.
Is it class specific, or is it any sort of spellcaster?
It's any sort of spellcaster. And as you take it off the pedestal lowers into the ground.
Is it require attunement, or is it kind of like an immediate attunement?
It is an immediate attunement.
All right. Well, we could discuss ownership later, but I'm going to wear this for now.
All right.
Sounds good. So you put that on, and then what?
I guess we head back to the center room if nothing's happening.
The pedestal's lower, but nothing else seems to happen.
Nothing else seemed to happen as the pedestal's lower.
Oh, okay. All right, then we'll. I guess we'll go place the items on the pedestals. Then that's in the center room.
So we're going to try and match how she's holding it. So, like, if the sword's in the right hand, going to put it onto the right-handed side.
Oh wait, you don't think you get out of here that easy? Come on, I give you max hit points for a reason. As you walk past these pedestals, 2 of them seem to not necessarily come to life, but a kind of creature starts to form out of it and starts heading towards you. Let's roll initiative one more time.
All right.
That easy. This die, because I dropped the die I was using, it rolled out of my reach. I pulled a new die, and I have rolled like crap with it ever since. So you're welcome.
Well, I just critically failed that initiative.
Wow.
I'm just glad my dice keep it above 10.
Okay. So Lucas, you notice these kind of these shadowy looking creatures kind of form out of these statues that were lining here, and two of them are going to come out towards you, but you notice this first and you're able to react.
All right. I don't like the look of that. I don't want to get near it right now. I am going to go ahead and cast Magic Missile. So using the sword as a new focal point, as I gesture around, 3 small portals open up as little globules of water kind of come out and start freezing instantly. At least it looks like that. It's still a force effect. And then fire out in a repeated pattern.
Perfect. Yeah, so bam, 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 bam. 3 little, like, frozen-looking darts of force slam into this creature.
And I rolled... I rolled the same number all 3 times, so that's a total of 9 points of damage to it.
Okay. The first one staggers back, figuratively, really, as 9 points of damage dealt to this creature, and it looks less than happy to have met up with you.
Right.
But they're going to move in. One's going to come at you, Lucas, the one that you just hit, and it's let's see. So it's going to reach out at you and attempt to grab at you, and that would be a 15 to hit.
15 is my AC.
Okay, so it's going to reach out, and you're going to take 5 points of necrotic damage. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And your strength is reduced by 1.
Oh no, I've lost strength.
As it kind of drains this out of you. So, yeah. And the other one's going to come at you, Hrothgar.
All right.
Let's see what I roll. Oh, that's a 4 on the dice. That doesn't matter what I add.
No.
Won't hit you.
That's not going to do it.
You get to respond, though, Hrothgar.
All right, I got one up in my grill. These things look nasty, so I'm just going to let out a burst of magic missiles on this guy that's right up on me.
Okay.
10. Ooh, that was a good volley. 13 points of force damage.
It shudders and almost looks like it's thinner as these bolts of dwarven heads slam into it, and it's not as opaque as it once was. Lucas, it is your turn again.
All right. Holding both the longsword and hand axe, I realize that the weapon I prefer is in my wrong hand. So in this kind of flourish, I kind of toss it into the air, toss the longsword into the other hand, and grab it, and I start swinging with it to try to get my hand axe into my proper hand. And I would be with that. So that is a 15 to hit.
That will hit.
And write down this number, hand axe D6. Okay. So D6 and D4. All right, so I did a total of 4 points of physical damage and 2 points of radiant damage. And then for my bonus attack, I miss. I rolled a 5.
So you said 4 regular and 2 radiant?
Yes.
Okay. So as you strike and your weapon flashes with this radiant light. The light spreads out through this shadow's body, and it dissipates, dissolving, becoming no more.
Then I guess that next attack was just to move forward to try to hit the shadow that Hrothgar was fighting, and I miss.
Yeah, perfect. That shadow will continue to attempt to attack Hrothgar. Jeez, that's a 2 on the die, so that definitely won't hit. Hrothgar, feel free to finish.
Looks like he stepped away for a moment.
Oh, okay. If you would like to go, Lucas, we can just, you're back to back, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Right. I'll roll just in case he doesn't overtake it. That's going to be a 20 to hit.
Yep.
Not natural. And max damage. So that is 8 points of physical and 4 points of radiant.
All right.
Got a little.
It's all good.
With a cold.
Yeah. It's going around. We're almost done for the night. Anyways, just to give you a heads up. I'm trying to get us through the end here. So I let Lucas go first since you were on a walkaway.
Yeah.
And so first he's able to slash at his, and he dissipates it. You kind of standing there, fending off the blows of this other creature. Lucas steps around, and while you have it distracted, is able to stab into it, and light bursts through its mouth and ends up dissipating this shade, and it disappears, just kind of turning into this black mist and then floating up and dissolving entirely.
Good deal.
Your way lies clear.
All right.
Never thought of myself as a two-hander.
Well, now we could go place them on the pedestals.
Hopefully not more of these show up. Just be like, you don't have your weapons now, haha. As I'm walking down the pedestal.
Yeah.
Or down the hallway.
Are we met with anything else as we walk back to the statue room?
No, you're able to walk back to the room. And so there's 3 pedestals there. What would you like to do?
So I think the cloak goes in the middle, and then we'll try to match what's in her hands for the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you're able to put the sword on the sword hand side, the axe on the axe hand side, and the cloak on the cloak side. So once you place them down, the doorway, like this, the door that has the lady's picture on it slides down into the ground. Air feels heavy, and as the doorway like kind of disappears, you feel this presence rush past you into the hallway. And the hallway, there's like a long hallway before you, long and dark. You notice there's a small flame at the end of it. And actually, as you've placed these things on there, the weapons and the cloak kind of solidify on there and descend into the ground with them, basically being pulled away from you. So, nice weapons. Glad you enjoyed them for 2 seconds. They're gone.
Should use those 2 extra spell slots for healing. Darn it.
Too bad no one has healing spells over here.
It's too bad.
So you notice there's the small flame. It's not quite bright enough to light up the entire room, but it gives you some sense that there's like a large cavern kind of area in there. I'm assuming you walk closer towards this since there's not much else for you to do.
Right.
And about this time, Feradin and Zero catch up. Like they've been kind of hovering back, and they've kind of noticed they see this development, and they're kind of going to move forward with you. As you walk into the center of the room, you feel a crunch under your feet, and you look down. You see the ground beneath you is covered with bones. And there's a small flame that starts to grow. Oh, we're gonna kind of skip some of that. So in the middle of the room, there's a gray stone slab. Atop the slab is the body of a woman with long brown hair and a fair complexion. She is dressed in dark brown cuirass. The woman's body seems to be pristine condition. And as you step closer, it begins to grow like a glow, like a white hue.
Does it look like the one from the statue?
Ah, yes. It looks just like the one from the statue.
Gotcha.
And she's now emitting a slight glow?
Yeah, a slight glow. And as you get closer, like this spirit seems to rise up from the body. It looks down at you. It says, "Thank you. You've cleansed these grounds and allowed my men and I to finally pass over. As a token of my gratitude, I will send you to a safe place where you will find peace and ability to be out of here. Think about what makes you happiest, and this orb will transport you out of here." And as she says this, the flame in the center of the room suddenly disappears and is replaced by a gray, glowing orb. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And with that, the spirit turns into a mist and dissipates.
I try to call out before she dissipates completely, and I might not get an answer. I go, "Milady, may I have your name?"
Iristine.
Always with the names, this one.
Right? That's the one question you want to ask? Feel free. Iristine. This is how she responds.
Well, these people have died, but they aren't remembered. There's a giant chasm that we had no idea about. I mean, if I'm going to be out trying to help people, I hope somebody would remember me. So I want to remember them.
Fair point. I'm just probably tired.
I think we're all a little tired. So she said, thinking of what makes us happiest will take us to a place. But my worry is if we think about where we're happy, and we might not go to a place that we want to be. So should we all try to think of the headquarters?
You do you. I'll think of some place where I can find a nice frothy mug of ale and some good meat and some good mutton, and I'll be happy.
Well, I do owe you a drink, so I'm pretty sure free drink is the best kind of drink.
Indeed.
All right. I'm thinking about the headquarters that we had left from when I go to the orb.
All right. And Hrothgar, what are we thinking about?
He's just gonna think about just a warm fire, cold beer, and some good food. No place in particular, but any place where that could be had.
Okay.
Pirates Den.
We're good. All right. So you step forward and you reach into this orb. And at the same time, Feradin and Zero are moving forward and they're reaching into the orb. And as you step in, all of a sudden, there's blackness. You feel a weightlessness. You feel almost like you're falling, but similar like a feather fall, like you're coming down. And then finally, you feel wait again. You feel light returning. You blink, and it's bright outside. It's bright. It's hard to see, and as your vision clears, you're standing. All four of you are standing in the town that you had left a while ago. The tavern there that you had visited in this town of Grelic is standing before you, and there are a couple people in the street, and they're turning and they're looking at you guys because all of a sudden there's like light flashed, and there are 4 individuals standing in the street, and that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you for joining me. Whew. Some of these things are a little nastier, but I was like, I can't, like, they're designed for 4 third level characters. I can't do 2 and full damage. So it was fun. It was cool to like kind of on the fly adjust them, but still try to make them scary enough that they weren't like, oh
yeah, that Minotaur putting me at 1 hit point. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. The Minotaur is supposed to be rolling 2 die for damage. I only rolled 1 just to like try to reduce it a little bit, but I kept the full hit points, and you guys were able to work through. So I was glad.
Not only that, the Minotaur, I'm pretty sure when it does a gore, does a strength check to knock you down too.
Yeah, he does. I figured that I just did the damage roll. So I figured I'd do that, and it didn't really matter because you were going to be next, so knocking you down didn't matter. So cool. That will be enough to move you to level 4 as well, which I'll post in the group for everyone else. So feel free to level yourself up, and we'll figure out the next time my stars align and I'm able to run games.
Unfortunately, we were not able to keep Heart, Soul, and Arms.
I know, and I was debating, like, because the thing basically has you lose them, and I was like, oh, maybe they should keep them. And I was like, listening to what they did, I was like, no, maybe they shouldn't keep them at level 4. That's too many magical weapons. But Hrothgar still has his hammer, and I believe you guys last time found several other magical items.
They weren't given to me.
I don't know who or what ended up taking them. They were, did I have them? There was a cloak that was found and a ruby that was found. That actually, the ruby, as you took it, was the one that triggered the
explosions.
The explosions. So there are a few things to be worked out. But you did get 300 gold pieces just from one of those chests, and a +1 weapon that you got to keep, and 2 books that you will find out the value of.
Yep, I'm going to try opening them and finding out that they don't speak my language and go, son of them. Ancient lost knowledge.
Damn news.
All right, gentlemen, I got a jet. You guys have a good evening. Catch you next time.
All right. All right, man. I'm going to take off too. It's been a long day. I got to work in the morning. So.
All right. You have a good day. Or good
you
night.
Too. Night. Everyone, thanks for joining us.